No messing about. Don't even touch the sides. Just start straight away.
Not even touching the side.
What up, nerds? We are back in your host for another episode of the Winner Review podcast. We are back today to talk all things Nintendo 64 for part 2 of, what was the podcast called? The Nintendo 64 30th anniversary?
Something like that. Celebrating the 30th anniversary of the N64, yes.
I'm David, he's Alex. Are you still melting down in England? Is it cooled down somewhat at all?
It has cooled down, yes. I am not melting as of this moment. I'm drinking a cup of tea, so there will be tea sweats for those watching the video. But other than that, no, I've had a doable day.
A lovely old time. So what are we down to, like 25 degrees? That seems pretty good to me.
Yeah, we probably are around that. Device added to your... Okay. 20 degrees right now.
Oh, that's
the highest. 26 is the highest we'll get. Sorry, 25 is the highest we'll get this week, which just feels... Yeah, that feels acceptable. That feels decidedly 2000s. Or does it? I don't even know. I don't know. Maybe it was even cooler back then. I don't know. Before all this woke global warming nonsense, did we have what? Just rain all summer, wasn't it? When we were kids.
Warming wasn't a thing until we started talking about it. Is that
oh yeah, you used to get hailstones in August. It was mental. Sleet. And then it'd be snowing by the time September the 1st hit. That's how it used to be. Look what we've done. We've wrecked it.
You get to... Actually, the Nintendo 64 wouldn't have had a fan in it, so it was probably quite a cool running machine, right? It was all solid stuff.
Didn't it?
It would have had... I don't remember a fan at all.
I suppose it didn't make any noise, did it? It's just like air vents, I suppose, is it?
I don't know. Wait a minute.
Slits.
Did the Nintendo 64 have a fan?
Gills.
Let's contribute to the.
Let's start part 2 by. Let's start part 2 by talking about whether we know what's actually in the machine we spent part 1 talking about. That's 30 years old at this point.
No, it uses passive.
There we go.
Instead, this means the console relies on a large metal plate called a heatsink to absorb and spread out heat.
Ah, okay, the old CPU jobby. Bit of thermal paste probably in there.
Yeah.
Put that on some toast and you're nice and cool.
There's a guy on Reddit asking, can the N64 overheat? I had this N64.
Has he ever touched one? What's wrong with this kid?
He's had this N64 for 25 years and had it sitting in storage for about 3 years. He recently decided to clean it and play some games. It turns out without an issue, but after a few minutes, so there was an issue, after a few minutes of gameplay, it gets hot for some reason. After I changed games, it didn't want to boot a game till it cools off. I cleaned the RAM slot ports and have 2 jumper packs. Was that a rumble pack?
No, that was the initial one, I think.
Jumper pack.
Sorry.
Pack sounds like something you stick in a car when the battery goes flat.
Yeah, it really does, and I thought that's what you were going to say. He's got some jumper cables on the bad boy, but no, it's the little thing that. This is how fucking cool I am. I've got one right there. That's from the Japanese one, though. That's the bit that goes in the top of the. Oh, the stickers come off. Oh well, that's voided my fucking warranty, innit? It's the thing that goes in like the front of the N64. In fact, like that guy, I have 2 jumper packs.
There he is. Well, make sure they're clean.
British, Japanese. You can replace it with the expansion pack, as we talked about last time around. So that would give you twice the amount of RAM.
Well, if you're having an issue, it turns out that it's probably the thermal pads need to be changed. So there you go. I've done my good deed for you listeners. You can also buy fan mods, but I don't think.
Well, there you go.
Nintendo 64. It was built not with a fan in mind.
Indeed, exactly that.
Alex, do you want to remind the listeners, if you haven't listened to part 1 of this, just stop now and go back and listen to part 1 because
get out of here.
A lot of this will make sense without that. But for people that have,
How dare you even be here? To be
Exactly.
honest, you saw 2 in the title, and you just had a laissez-faire attitude to the
well, we know
intended
gamers do that,
order.
though, don't we? Because a lot of games with 2 in it sell better. Remember that game they released? It was the first game in a series, and they just put a 2 in the end because sequels sell better, and it was like something 2, and it was actually the first one.
On 2 Worlds 2, was it?
No, I can't remember what it was.
No, that one just never came out. You do see it all the time, though. Like I saw a thread on Reddit. It wasn't a very long thread because basically everyone got what they needed to get done in the early minutes. But some bloke was like, I've never played Metroid Prime before. Shall I play on my Switch 2? Shall I play 4 or shall I play Prime Remastered? And everyone just had a massive go at him. Like, why the fuck would you play 4 when you've not played any of the other ones? And Prime 1 is better and the remastered one is cheaper and it's right there. Like, what are you doing? So if you are listening to this before the first one, you're one of those people. If you aren't, well, you can skip forward a little bit because you don't need to hear what this is. But basically, we've taken you on a trip through the N64's life from its inception in sort of around 93 time up to its release in 1996, hence the 30 years celebration. And we very slowly crawled our way through the years because I did way too many notes up until the end of 1999, where we talked about the key things that happened in its life, the key games that came out in each year, our opinions on them. And we're going to carry on doing that here for the years 2000 and the very short year in some territories of 2001 before we finally get to our individual top 10 N64 games lists. And that's the state of play. Did you play any? Speaking of play, did you play any N64 today on your day?
I had my Switch sitting next to me, ready to play all day, and I had an inexplicably busy day, unfortunately. So sorry to the listeners, but life got in the way, unfortunately.
Hey, I've had many days in the interim period, and I still haven't finished or even gone back to Conker's Bad Fur Day, so I'm just as bad.
Did you didn't go back at all? Because
Nah.
I'm interested to see what you thought of that. But again,
yeah, me too. I want to get to it.
Yeah, maybe one day. Again, because I'm going to keep riding that wagon all the way home till we do some sort of series on the Nintendo 64 in some way.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's for another.
Well. Yeah, I know, because I suppose it would be the 25th anniversary of that game as well, wouldn't it, this year? So maybe if it did come up later in the year, maybe we can force our way through it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually interested to know what I think of it as well, because I think I said this in the previous podcast, I only played the Xbox remaster.
That's true. And I almost thought about playing that, but I didn't. I've just tried to Google the release date of Conker's Bad Fur Day. And after I wrote Conker's, and it came up, the first thing was Bad Fur Day. And even though I saw that, I pressed space to type the B, but then it said Conker's game and had a picture of the logo for Conker's Bad Fur Day. So I pressed enter, and now it's talking about the game of Conkers.
Oh.
I was lied to.
Yeah, you were done there.
I really was.
Snuck OG Conkers into your life.
Oh, it was in March. We've ballsed it. We'll just have to do it anytime we care to do it.
Okay. Oh well, we missed it. What did we do in March instead? What were we up to? We did Terminator 2D.
Oh yeah, it was March. Movie Madness, wasn't it? That's what we were doing. Right. So, let's get back on with it. What are we up to? 2000. That's what we're talking about. Right, so the news. Basically, there wasn't a lot of news because the console was dying down at this point. They were gearing towards what I suppose at that point was probably called Dolphin.
Is it Dolphin? I was trying to remember what.
Hence the name of the emulator, of course.
Oh, yeah. So what was was it Katana or something was the Wii? What was the Wii code name?
That was Revolution.
Revolution.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Katana, isn't that an Xbox thing?
Yeah, I think you might be right.
I don't actually know now. Anyway, so in October,
the most Dolphin might be one of the more famous code names. Project Scorpio would be the other one.
There was, yeah. I mean, I don't know whether they're that famous anymore because a lot of time has passed since. But obviously, the Sega Planet series was quite famous at the time when they had like Project Mars, Project Neptune, Project Saturn, Project Jupiter, was it? Can't remember now.
What were
4
all they?
consoles anyway. Saturn was obviously Saturn.
Yep.
Mars, I think, was the 32X, and then I think Neptune was like supposed to be a mix of Saturn and Mega Drive together, with like both connections, and then I can't remember what the other one was, but there was 4 things, and basically only 2 of them happened.
Is the purpose of a code name just to as a sort of placeholder, or is it like to allow people to talk about things without like leaks, like the press knowing what it is? Because I feel like if you've got a theme, people know exactly what it is. You know, like if you're like, right, we're going to name all our code name console code names after planets. As soon as you see a leaked email with a planet in it, you know it's about a console. Or is it just like, oh, we've not named this thing, we'll just call it a planet and move on till we get a name?
I can't remember. I'm pretty sure there was something in the whoever it was who was head of Sega at that point, probably Nakayama. He was like he was really excited for the idea of planets. That was them. That was them thinking they were cool doing that.
Planets
Whereas most of the time, it's probably just a word that someone chucks out there. I do like how they do it in the film industry, where basically every film has like a working title, doesn't it? There's absolute nonsense to just like throw people off in case, like when they're giving out scripts or whatever, it's to, you know, so people don't get wind of what's actually in production. Or at least that was the case. I don't know if film companies maybe care that much anymore, if they're just trying to build up hype for a dwindling cinema
just come see a movie
market.
Please.
Yeah, please.
Your Odyssey is good. I need to.
Yes, brilliant, man. Brilliant. Yeah, I went to see it last weekend by myself it's just in a Cineworld, because I couldn't get an IMAX ticket because they were completely sold out. Loved it. Thought it was one of Nolan's best in a long time, and I'm now going to see it in an IMAX this weekend because I feel it deserves it.
Excellent. I'm jealous.
Yeah, you gotta support the film industry where it deserves it.
I really wish I could just find time in my life to go to the cinema regularly. I would have. I absolutely love going to the cinema. Yeah,
do you know what you should also do? Is get back on your Blu-ray kick. That I don't actually know how far that got, but
not far.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
but now media is in jeopardy. Physical media is in serious jeopardy, despite the fact that every single social media post that any PlayStation account puts out gets fucking bombed with people putting pictures of discs and saying stuff about physical. You should get back into it, mate. Get yourself nice and secure.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say it on this podcast and then actually do it. I'm going to research again. UHD, whatever you call them, the top end DVD players.
HD DVD player for your Xbox 360,
and then they'll because then they'll play Blu-rays as well, won't they? So if I get a nice one, I've got a good.
Not your PS? Oh fucking hell! You haven't got the disc one on your PS5, have you?
Yeah, I'm the problem, mate. And
well, your Xbox Series X will do that, but it's not a very good one.
Yeah, I'm going to curate a nice collection, and I'll buy Blu-rays want and abandon, but I'll get a nice curated collection of.
Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, update us on the old episodes.
I'll tell you on the next episode. I'll tell you what machine I'm going to buy. There you go.
Yeah, all right. Also, what's your another quick aside, because N64 can wait. It's already had a whole episode. What are you going to do now when you buy games? Because we obviously got pissed off at Microsoft.
You're not about to kick loose this, are you?
I don't want to kick loose necessarily the reasons. Let's not go deep into that. But I want to kick loose sort of like we got pissed off at Microsoft because of their putting up their Game Pass price and all the nonsense that they did. So we decided, you and I both just sort of slid over to PlayStation, and I basically started amassing quite a physical PS5 collection. But now Sony are absolute pieces of shit, and I feel like I don't want to buy their games anymore. So now I'm thinking I should buy physical on Xbox again. I don't know what I'm doing.
I've sort of
or Switch.
I've sort of settled
if it's a viable one.
Conclusion that. Like, I don't want to come across wrongly here. So if I do, it's obviously not intentional, and I've got massive amount of sympathy for like people losing their jobs. However, like of all the things that Microsoft have done over the years, they sort of at the moment strike me as a company making like swinging cuts in a desperate attempt to keep their business alive or realign it to sell it. I think what Sony are doing is genuinely harmful for the industry.
Yeah, agreed.
So I'm coming to the conclusion that Sony are the worst of the two at the moment.
Yeah.
I've put my tail between my legs and scurried back to Xbox for the moment. However, given that physical media is likely dead when it comes to video games, no matter what platform you're on, I am scurrying back to Xbox for the moment, but when finances allow, I'm going to make the jump to PC and just live there.
Yeah, this was just I mean, you're not as much of a physical media person as me, I guess. Anyway, certainly on the modern consoles.
I am to the 360 era, and then I sort of stopped.
Yeah, but I do like a physical game on current gen as well. I like to have them on my shelf. I like to know that they're mine. So yes, in terms of like where am I going to buy my physical games now, I'm probably going to go back to buying them on Xbox because, as you said, it's funny, isn't it? When Asher took over Xbox, we kind of looked at it and thought like, this person doesn't know anything about games. She's not had any like experience in the gaming market. She probably ain't even a gamer. And she has actually kind of come in and been a gamer and been like, the fuck aren't you making a Fallout 4? Yeah. Where the fuck is Halo? And then just booted out anyone who wasn't doing any of that. What's this Lighthouse shit? Yeah. Get out of here. Well, what are you talking about?
Sort of on that, I say this again, like this is me, like not like we'll set all the redundancies and sort of cutting, like hacking away at their sort of beloved.
Yeah, sorry you got fired, lads.
Put that to side because that's a given, right? I look at Microsoft with what they're doing, and let's face it, Microsoft are not a creative company. They are not. They're just not.
They can't even creatively buy people who are creative.
So the fact that they're sort of realigning their business, I've sort of come to the conclusion that like the big budget stuff that they are sort of focusing on and sort of drilling down on, like the Halos, the Gears, whatever else, the Forzas, the Elder Scrolls, the Fallouts and things like that. That's the big budget stuff with the sort of established IP is probably where the big console manufacturers should be operating.
Yeah,
and then
companies, where Sony operate.
Yeah, and then companies like Double Fine that are doing the sort of niche, smaller, interesting stuff that pushes the industry forward in terms of like controls, graphics, art styles, in the way that we engage with the different media and like trying and risking different things. That is for the smaller studios, the private studios, the smaller business ones. I think, like I say, I think Microsoft now have got such a track record of trying to be creative and not managing, and I just don't think they've got it in there. They're such a corporate entity that they just don't have it in them. So the fact that they're going to focus on these established IP where they basically just have to churn these things out, I think that suits them better than it does to go away and try and come out with a Hellblade or something that's a bit different and risky. They don't have that in them. I don't know. Do you think that seems off-piste entirely?
Well, no, while I agree with that, the biggest reason they don't have that in them is because they absolutely wasted everybody's time and a lot of their own money with a pointless acquisition of Activision Blizzard that I would like to actually sort of poll the amount of Xbox fans who give a tiny rat's fuck about that. I wish you'd never done that. If this was what's actually come out of it, I mean, I was being facetious earlier, but I don't care about Call of Duty being on Game Pass. I don't care about Call of Duty. I don't care about Fortnite. They don't even own Fortnite. Do they own Fortnite? No, they don't own Fortnite. What am I on about? That's epic. I don't care about fucking Minecraft. That's what I was going to say.
Minecraft has probably been.
I don't care about Candy Crush. Yeah, true. What else did they get from Blizzard? I don't get any for the Blizzard shit, and none of it's even on Game Pass. Like it wasn't at the. I mean, it is. They've taken it off Game Pass now anyway. But even at the time, like all the Call of Duties still weren't on there. All the Activision back catalogue wasn't on there. Waste of everyone's time.
Yeah,
you did all that. I didn't. No one really cared as much as Microsoft did, and all it's done is ruin everything. So that actually talented development studios get shit canned as a result. Like Arcane, you're having to put up the people who made Dishonored because you bought fucking Candy Crush. Think about that. Mental.
my initial
no one wanted that.
Was there's like I guess like how representative of gamers are we these days? But in terms of the core gaming landscape, we are, because it's like kids don't play video games in the same way we do. So
No,
Yeah, totally
exactly.
agree. Can't really argue.
Yep. So yeah, back to Xbox we go. Hey, and of course, if games get comparable launches on Switch 2, then always there for me anyway.
Yeah, I think that's
Even
fair at this point. Like
even
I
with a
say,
game key card, fuck it.
I'm there begrudgingly, and yeah, I'm going to start investigating how to get a Steam machine. Not the one that Valve's made, because that's overpriced and underpowered, but if I can sort of get an appropriately powered one for one that I don't need to remortgage my house for, and then just install SteamOS and have that as my console, I think I'm going to be happier there, because I don't really play online competitive stuff anymore, so I don't need to worry about that, because I will not be playing that on PC.
Well, yeah,
and then
okay, I
we'll
get
just
you
see-
now.
and
Yeah,
then, and then we'll just see what the consoles do next gen, and if
yeah,
I still think this Microsoft exclusivity or return to is short lived. I think they're going to pan that. And go back to just doing what they were doing before. And Sony,
yeah.
we'll see what they're making, because they're not making games I want to play at the moment.
No,
Not making anything, actually.
yeah,
Apart from God
yeah.
of War, and I'm not really not bothered about God of War anymore.
No, that looked a bit of poop.
Yeah. But Nintendo 64.
You know what was poop?
Oh, actually,
It-
don't segue in Nintendo 64, because we've got to do the quiz.
I was going to say about that, and then I lost track of it when I was thinking
Yeah.
about physical media.
We'll
But I
start-
was going to first talk about the quiz.
Given the topic of movies, we'll start with movies, and then we'll go, because I'm
Okay.
worried that we're now half an hour in.
Nah, 20 minutes. 20 minutes is fine.
Which Hollywood movie star plays himself in Zombieland? I would get this one.
Bill
like that
Murray.
Yeah, he's nailed it. Well done. One for
Great.
one.
That's a great part of that film. The best part.
I've not seen that movie in ages. Maybe that'll be a Blu-ray I buy.
I almost said rest in peace, Bill Murray, but he only dies in the film. He's not dead, is he?
No,
That's Kevin Keegan.
Kevin
Rest
Keegan,
in peace to
that's exactly
you.
what I was about to say. His body double. Which
It's not far off.
Which superhero movie is set in the fictional nation of Wakanda?
You know what? When you said set in the fictional, I almost said Black Panther. Because I knew it was going to say the fictional, whatever, Wakanda.
2 from 2. I wouldn't have got that one, just for the record. Number 3. Who won the 2024 Academy Award for Best Director? I definitely wouldn't have got this, because I couldn't tell you a movie that came out in 2024. I have seen this, though.
Best Director in 2024. That was 2 years ago. And I can't see. I was going to say Christopher Nolan.
Yes, well done. 3 from 3.
Oh, nice. What was that for again? That was for
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer, that's it.
Another good movie.
Yeah, excellent.
Chris Nolan managed to make people sitting in chairs talking an interesting movie.
He did. He did.
To him. And the fourth and final, to do the clean set, I think there's about a 50-50 chance I would have got this, if I'm completely honest. I was going to claim that I would have got it, but if I'm honest, I may not have. Which 1994 movie had the tagline, "Fear can hold you prisoner, hope can set you free"?
Set you free. Shawshank Redemption.
Yes, he's done it. 4 from 4. What a champ. That's your best movie stint so far.
That is. Oh, let's go for 8 today, boys.
Will we do more movies?
Oh no, I meant the games now, innit?
Do the games. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, just want a clean sweep of both.
Right. Looking at the answer to this, no, you're not getting this.
Ah,
What is the name? I wouldn't have got this. What is the name of the drone companion in the single-player adventure game Stray?
great. What does it begin with? What's the letter? It's a number, isn't it?
No, it's I'm trying to give you a better clue. It starts with B. And it is like an R2D2 type thing. So it's
B419.
Closer than not
B67.
B12.
Oh.
B67, get out of here.
Sorry, yeah, no, I'm sorry.
I think you're going to return the point, however. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is considered a spiritual successor to which series?
Castlevania.
Yes, he's 5 from 6. Can you get to 6 from 7? Oh, I just did that as well. In which game would the player use a super shotgun with a meat hook attachment?
One more time.
In which game would the player use a super shotgun with a meat hook attachment?
Oh, Overwatch.
Doom Eternal, allegedly.
Oh, what? I thought it was
You were the
Roadhog.
Yeah, Roadhog. Yeah.
And I was thinking Doom the entire time, but then
I think you should get an honorary point for that because that's correct.
although he has the meat hook in his other hand rather than as an
so
attachment
it's
to the
not
gun.
Attachment, really, is it?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have got this one either. Which United States president was asked to voice the in-game president character in Fallout 3 but declined?
Wow.
Yeah, this is a cool bit of trivia for a remake that's coming at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, this president's not up to much. Maybe you can get to.
Oh, is it George Bush?
No, it's Bill. Big Bill.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course it would be.
Big Bill Clinton.
He was too busy, probably on an island somewhere.
Tell you what, for always an idiot and a nonce, allegedly. I bet you Trump would do it.
Well, I almost thought it might be that, but then why would anybody want him in their film? We all saw how terrible he was in Home Alone 2, and he only had to say one line. He had somewhere else to be, clearly. No, he doesn't.
No, he really doesn't.
He does take it better than Vince McMahon, though, and Vince McMahon should be ashamed of that.
Okay, Nintendo 64.
2000, right. In 2000, in October 2000, Nintendo finally announced the impending discontinuation of the 64DD. We'll have a little, not seance, but a wake for the 64DD in the next year.
When after you left York, when we were in York,
you went and bought one.
Talking, I was, me and Annie and I went and did a ghost walk. And,
yes, so you did do that. That's good.
It was quite good fun. And the next morning, I was walking past apparently the world's most haunted pub, looked in the window, and there was a bunch of teenagers holding hands in a circle. So I was like, oh, they must be doing a sale.
Wow. I guess they were, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's better than them doing
drugs.
Well, fentanyl, that's the word I was trying to think of.
Tide Pods, is that something people
Yeah, do they still do that? Let us know if there's any kids listening, if your parents allow you to do such a thing. Sorry for all the swearing. The Pokemon console variants came out in 2000. They released several of them. I did, and I sold it for £150.
Did you buy Pepsi Man with that? Was that the?
I hope not.
I hope not.
I hope not, but I might have done. It's like being at work getting abuse for that. Yeah, but apparently the N64 sort of was increasingly relying on collectors and Pokemon fans at this point in terms of like shifting its hardware with all the crystal ones and the Pokemon ones.
Was this the first time their console started doing that? Because it didn't really do that with the NES.
Game Boy probably did.
The Game Boy would have had, yeah.
Game Boy Color anyway.
Yeah.
Or Pocket. I don't know, probably all of those. E3 2000 was dominated by Perfect Dark, Majora's Mask, the reveal of Dinosaur Planet, which, of course, turned into Star Fox Adventures for the GameCube when it was, which was Rare's last game before they went to Microsoft, I believe, as well, where it, they just basically chopped out the, whatever it was, dinosaurs, I suppose. Or I don't remember what the character was supposed to be in Dinosaur Planet, but they turned it into Fox McCloud anyway. We also had Conker's Bad Fur Day, now actually called Conker's Bad Fur Day, and that's the famous one where they had a bar that served beer to people at E3. And sadly, we had Mickey's Speedway USA, a game I really wanted to go and give another try to. A game that should have been, other than the characters, I suppose, in it, it should have been Rare's Perfect Dark on wheels. It's Diddy Kong Racing Perfect Dark. Alas, for some reason, it just wasn't. And I don't really know why. I don't think it had an adventure mode in it, which I don't know why they took that out, because surely Mickey Mouse has got a pretty rich world that you could have drawn something from. But I have played it before. I don't know if I played it around the time that it came out, because I think it got middling reviews, but it's It's just such a weird drop off that Rare couldn't make a good kart racer again on a second attempt on the N60. Really weird. And yeah, people got teasers of Project Dolphin behind closed doors at that point at E3, and then Space World 2000, which again was the Nintendo hosted conference that they did sort of later in the year. That was historically famous for actually revealing the GameCube this time, and that now I suppose infamous Zelda GameCube tech demo that everybody got really excited about looking at, and then of course upset when it turned out that the game was going to look like Wind Waker until they thought about it for a few minutes and realized that was a good thing.
That's got to be up there with one of the worst sort of fan takes of all time, not liking the way that game looked, given how things have gone.
I certainly one of the worst kind of like fan initial sort of reactions. Yeah. Thoughtless reactions. Yeah. Yeah. Especially because, nothing actually changed. They didn't. It's not like, when people hated on Mass Effect 3's ending and then because the developer then said sorry and changed it. Nintendo did nothing different to this. They just carried on and was like, no, screw you. We're doing this anyway. Yeah. And then everyone went, oh, yeah, you were right. Yeah. And another thing that Space World 2000 was notable for, Animal Forest, which was a Japan-only release that came out in April.
Games as you're talking, Star Fox's Ventures looks like a ride.
Mm-hmm. Animal Forest was a Japan-only released game that came out in April 2001, which was, of course, later released internationally on the GameCube as Animal Crossing. Animal Forest was...
It really looks like Animal... It is Animal Crossing.
It is Animal Crossing. It was just called Animal Forest, and it only came out in Japan on the N64, which was the last game that Nintendo themselves released on the N64 as well. And then for the international release, they just ported it to the GameCube as Animal Crossing, and apparently the translation process took 6 months. We didn't actually get the game on GameCube over in the UK until September 2004. 3 and a bit years before that game came over here, and on a new console at the same time.
I'm watching gameplay of Animal Forest, and thankfully the first character that's popped up is Tom Nook, because I just skimmed forward to 11 minutes, and he's currently telling the player, "You know what happens to people who don't have money, don't you?" He started off more sinister, and I think he's probably softened in his tone since then. Surely, I'll tell you, they can't. But you need a place to stay. This is a thorny situation.
Is this the GameCube one you're looking at, or is this the Japanese one?
Japanese one with the translation, yeah. Right.
Nice. That's the one that's actually got playable NES games in it. You could get NES games and put them in your little house and play them. For those who heard the first part of this, you will remember that we were doing a countdown. Well, it is a countdown, sadly, but we were counting the units sold every year of the N64's life. In 2000, the N64 sold 2.85 million units worldwide. The PlayStation 7.8 million. The PS2 6.4 million. The Dreamcast is now on the scene, 2.28 million. The Saturn 810. Oh. Not even 1,000.
Oh, poor
but it's probably long dead at this point. Did we have any for 2001? No.
Have you got a physical Saturn?
Yeah, that was bought for me actually by my friend Chris as a birthday present. I can't believe he did that, but that was back in the times when clearly it was actually affordable for a present for your friend, rather than now where it would probably cost about £100.
Yeah.
The key games of the year then. Perfect Dark. Now, I swear you and I have played Perfect Dark together.
Oh, have we?
On the Xbox, but I could be imagining that. I'm almost certain that we both had the Xbox 360 version and we played the multiplayer challenges until we got to the same multiplayer challenge that I always get to, which is the one where you've got to fight like little alien dudes who shoot you with tranquilizers until you basically can't see anything.
Because whenever I've played Perfect Dark, because I didn't play it until I was an adult, I've just been thoroughly confused by it. In the same way that I suspect I'd be thoroughly confused if I hadn't played GoldenEye as a kid.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Because, of course, Perfect Dark And again, had we had more, well, we've had plenty of time. Had we done stuff for this podcast, I was really wanting to try and play this game in co-op with you because obviously you can do the entire campaign in co-op.
We'll do that one day. Make it a podcast game.
Yeah, you can also do the entire campaign, as I think I've said to you before, in like, I can't remember what they call it now, but it's the opposite of co-op. So one person plays as all the enemy soldiers as the player one plays as Joanna Dark. So you do have the health of a soldier, so not a lot. You can be killed pretty quickly, but yeah, you can basically take over all the enemies, I think, and just come after Joanna.
So we've got no excuse not to play it one day.
We've definitely, I swear, we've done some of the multiplayer challenges. I must have forced you to do that at some point. They're just really, really hard. But it's a cool thing. The multiplayer in this game, miles ahead of GoldenEye. I know that GoldenEye was obviously more important, but the improvements that they made to this one are letting you have bots in the game for a start. Some of the weapons that you could have, like the remote-controlled rocket launcher and the gun that shoots through walls, or the laptop gun that turns into a turret. Me and my friends used to have like endless fun setting up scenarios where we'd like, I think one of them was me and my friend, we'd both stand in the same place in the facility level because they ported over a couple of the GoldenEye multiplayer levels. We'd both stand basically where those lockers are. Do you know the one? You know, in facility, in multiplayer, you go like up out the toilets, down the stairs, straight down the end of the hall, turn left.
Yep.
There's that really slow brown door. And then on the next side of the room, you've got like some lockers on the left. And then you go down like to the. So we'd stand in that little locker bit. Every single bot would be what was called a meat sim. So it was like the lowest quality, like just lowest difficulty level sim. All of them would have Shigeru Miyamoto's face, all of them wearing a cocktail dress. And we would just have a competition to see who could use only the remote controlled rocket launcher to kill the most meat sims. And that was it. That was the game. Just a race to the most kills with the remote controlled rocket launcher. Classic. I was going to say that I don't know if the single player is as good in Perfect Dark as it is in GoldenEye, but it probably is, because although Perfect Dark has got some truly shitty levels in it, so does GoldenEye.
Yeah.
So I think Perfect Dark's opening is really, really strong. The first level's amazing. It's so like dripping with like style. Yeah, to be fair, it does.
I mean, this may be controversial, but was it the third level would be the first questionable one in GoldenEye, Runway? I don't think that's great.
I mean, it's kind of half-assed, isn't it? It's just a long road with loads of turrets and twats.
Streets is poor.
Yeah, that's horrible. Statue is one of my least favourites. We got to find Robbie Coltrane in a fucking skip for half an hour. Anything with Natalia.
Oh, yeah.
Any of the escort ones. I mean, Perfect Dark, you know, it has some of the same stuff. It has levels where you get lost, levels where you've got to escort people. But it has a lot of cool stuff in it the same way GoldenEye does. Cool gadgets. You know, cool mission objectives, has a bit of humor in it, actually has voice acting in this one, has some great weapons, like I said, the Farsight where you can shoot through walls for, you know, across the map. Really, really cool. So yeah, a definite highlight of the system for me. But one I was extremely excited for, when my dad got in massive trouble because he bought for me from Special Reserve over the phone because it was an 18 rated game and I wasn't able to go and buy it in the shop for myself, and my mum was not pleased with that at all. Yeah, but I was just like, Mum, the faces just got a bit red. There's no swearing or anything.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll probably talk about Perfect Dark a little bit more later on, because have you got much of a history with it? So you said really, you've only played a little bit because you thought you'd get.
Yeah, I've got no memory of playing it with you. And the memory I do have is when I played it on, is it Rare Replay? It's on there.
Yeah.
I played that, and again, like sort of likening it to GoldenEye, is that I've no idea how I knew how to complete any of the missions in GoldenEye, and I had that with Perfect Dark. I loaded it up and I was running about, and I was like, I have no idea what I'm meant to be doing or where. So then I think I
Yeah.
played the first level, which is like on a skyscraper or something. You're like on top of a building.
Yeah, you're like that's it. You start up
Um,
there and you have to kind of infiltrate, don't
I
you?
genuinely don't think I got any further.
Even that one's confusing because there's some lifts in there that muck you about.
Yeah, I just didn't know what I was doing, and I wonder if it's either someone must have had a guide when I was a kid of GoldenEye, or we just had time to sit and bash our head against things. Like the one, I think I said this in the previous podcast, but to sort of illustrate my point, in GoldenEye, there's where you've got to throw the modem on the screen in Dam, the first level. How are you meant to know that that's where you're meant to put it? And you only get one as well. So once you've thrown it, if you don't throw it in the right place, game over. You can't
Even when you see where you've got to throw it, if you miss it, it and hit the wall, then they're well done.
So
and that one's hidden behind some boxes around the back. So
I don't understand how I was meant to know how to do that. And yeah, I had this. I had that exact experience of Perfect Dark. So I just need someone like you to sit there and show me what to do. Basically, I think.
Yeah, that's a definite co-op game, and that could also end up being like a part of a new series that I might be teasing a little bit here that we're thinking about doing when we're talking about playing all these spiritual successor games. Maybe we could kind of tie that in with a bit of Agent 64.
Yes, that
on the PC, and then sort of play them both and see.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we need to see if we can simulate our best gaming. One of our best gaming experiences together when we spend that evening passing the controller, and we ended up playing
Rogue Legacy,
and is it Dark Souls, Demon Souls, the first one on Xbox? Played a little bit of that.
Yeah, we played Dark Souls. Yeah. We got very lost on that. We kept going the hard way.
There must be because I've been falling asleep at night. I've been watching a guy do a series on YouTube where he's playing Morrowind, and the name's terrible. He's called it Unguided, but basically the idea is he's playing Morrowind blind, as in like he doesn't know anything about it going in, and he's not allowed to play it like you would a modern game by looking at wikis and things like that. He's just got to play it like it was, I don't know, like 92 or whatever he put it out. So he's if he doesn't know something, he just doesn't know it.
Yeah,
which is quite fun.
Because I suppose that's one of the ones where you could be allowed to figure out if you could go and somehow find the Prima strategy guide.
Yeah,
pay the money for
He's got to do an extra video where he just pounds the streets going into CEXs and charity shops looking for the strategy guide. Because there's one that gets sent off to look for some sort of box. And the video is honestly like 40 minutes long. It gets to the end of the video and it is cut so much. So he's been at this for like hours. And he just goes, well, I can't find it. So that's it, I guess. And then just wanders off. It's like, oh my God, you've just wandered around this one area for like 5-6 hours, not done what you set out to do, and then left.
If he wasn't doing that for content, imagine how much more he would regret that wasted time, because at least he got something out of it. But if you got nothing out of it, that's shocking. It's a cool idea though, but you've got to have the patience to be able to sit through shit like that.
But back on point, the TLDR. That's how that was my experience of Perfect Dark.
Right.
Yes. So I need a Sherpa, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I probably would. I'd need it too.
It's a big black point in my gaming life.
As is Kirby, right? And Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards came out this year as well. It came out for 2001 over here. So although 2001 is going to be incredibly bare when we get to it later on, in our territory it wasn't, because we were getting the dregs from Japan. But yes, Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards is quite a delightful game, quite a very simple game. It's a sort of a side-scrolling, I'd say 2.5D. I guess it's all sort of polygonal models and things, and the backgrounds seem to be 3D enough. But it's got some really cool powers in it. My daughter and I played it quite a lot recently. When I first moved into this garage, she was loving it for a bit and then got bored, obviously, as kids do. You could do quite a lot of mixing of powers. Like, there's quite a lot of freedom in this game, as easy as it is.
Right? It's like there's a lot of cool Kirby games.
Yeah, there are. None of them are massively challenging, but they are cool enough with the power stuff that they can, you can have a lot of fun even if it's not challenging you. There's not, if you can accept the fact that the fun can come from just doing something cool rather than being like brutally challenged or feeling like you're achieving something as an adult, then you can have fun with Kirby for sure.
Yeah, I'm watching this now. It looks fun.
Yeah, it's very expensive though, so that's an emulator, or buy the Japanese one like I did, basically.
Oh, did you get that in York?
Beautiful game though. No, I already had that.
Oh, did you?
I've had that Japanese one for quite a while. They may have had. Yeah, I think they might have had the Japanese one there. Did you get it?
Don't
No.
think so.
No, doesn't seem like the kind of game you'd splash like 20 quid on a whim.
No, I was on a severe budget in there, so yeah, I didn't.
Mario Tennis. Did you ever play that?
Yes, that is one.
The original?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
It's quite simple.
It is simple. I like that it's got the sort of double tapping of the button gimmick where you could hit it twice to kind of give like extra oomph to your shots. It would get this like special tail, like a coloured tail would come out the back of it. And you had a power shot, you had a top spin, you had a side spin, you had a lob. You had the basics of a tennis game, and then you had basically probably more variety than you do in Virtua Tennis. It was just kind of covered in the cartoony sheen of Mario, so I guess it wasn't a serious game, but it's great.
Yeah, I kind of wish I had access to people that would play this game with me, because I like Mario. I love a tennis game, and why not stick a Mario skin on it? I would love to play Mario. I like it. I like Mario Tennis on the N64, and would probably play the newer ones. Although this one seems to be, as much as I was talking about it being simple, the newer ones, they've added a lot of layers to it that perhaps ruin the fun. I think you can like put ice on on the ground of people and trip them up, whereas this one's just a raw dog tennis game, which I'm into.
You can play it online on the Switch.
Well, there's a Friday night for us.
Well, yeah. Hey, look, you're really good at Virtua Tennis, so I'm not going to worry that I've played this game a lot, because I think you'll still be fine. But the GameCube one, Mario Power Tennis, I had it's not even a rivalry. It was a bullying of my friend Simon, because he's never beaten me, ever at that game. Oh, yeah. I don't even know if he's ever won a set against me, and we used to play it all the time, but it became this thing where he was just so desperate to beat me that every time I'd almost start to like let him have a chance in the game to make it more interesting for me. Again, just bullying. But you're a different gravy, because you beat me at Virtua Tennis basically every time. So this would be quite interesting. I'll bring you this is a home game for me. You're on an away game. See how you do.
Yeah.
And of course there'll be a Nintendo Network code to contend with as well. Right, Majora's Mask was another one. Really big one, obviously.
What's your thoughts on Majora's Mask? It's another N64 game that's in my blind spot.
Yeah, it's definitely got like a cult following. I mean, it's obviously got a massive following. It's a Zelda game. I'm so pleased that Nintendo kind of, although it does sound like, to the detriment of the sanity and social life and sleep of its development team, I'm so glad that they kind of took the engine of Ocarina of Time and kind of just pushed something else out. Because, getting 2 Zelda games on one system is almost, unless it's a handheld, is kind of unheard of, really. You don't get that very often. You didn't get it on the SNES. Did you get it on the Wii? Kinda. Although it was basically one was a GameCube port. So I was talking to I've got a new Ocarina of Time shirt that I'm wearing right now.
Nice one. Yeah.
And I wore it to work, and some dude said to me, "Oh yeah, I've not really played a lot of Zelda. I've only ever played I think it was one on like the Super Nintendo." I was like, "Oh yeah, Link to the Past." He went, "Yeah," and then Link's Crossbow Training on the Wii. It's like, what a random duology of games to have played. Like, that is mental for those two. But yeah, obviously darker. This is why people have kind of looked back on it since, Ocarina of Time has just become like, I don't know. Did people just get bored of saying it was the best? I know I probably did. Kind of like people
like to be
just
contrarian, perhaps.
Yeah, exactly. It was just in like so many top lists of the all time that people I think just kind of were like, yeah, but you know what? Actually, Majora's Mask's kind of got like a better kind of darker narrative, and it's more interesting storyline and all this kind of stuff, and it was really like unique, and it's the black sheep and all this kind of stuff. So I really do like Majora's Mask. I do love the tone. I love the Mask Seller. I love like Skull Kid, and the moon's face is amazing. The only problem I have with it is that it just doesn't really have very many dungeons in it. I think it only has like 4, maybe. And some of the mask stuff can get a little bit, not tiresome, but rote by the end. Okay. If you're just having to constantly like swap masks on and off. And the transformations of Link are cool. You get to turn into a Goron. You get to turn into a Zora.
That's fun.
You know, yeah, you get to do all that kind of cool stuff. Which opens up like the move set and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a very experimental title. It's got some incredible side quests that really play around with the time loop nature of the game. Some of them you have to be at certain places at certain times. I think people are less kind of down with the 3DS of this 3DS remake of Majora's Mask than they are of Ocarina of Time, because Ocarina of Time was a lot more faithful to the original, whereas the Majora's Mask one, they made more tweaks to it. They did stuff like speeding up. I think they sped up, or they allowed more control of the Zora swimming, because it was quite difficult in the original, a bit fiddly, and they added in like they made tweaks to this diary that you have. Maybe the diary wasn't even in the original, I can't remember, but basically some of the stuff that required you to keep track of time or where people will be on certain days, because you'd have to go back in time to kind of sort all this sort of stuff out. Mm-hmm. They made it a lot easier to follow, whereas in the first game you're kind of like flying blind a lot of the time to just try and remember patrol routes, or you know what I mean, like pathfinding of certain characters or where they're going to be, whereas this one actually lets you keep track of it and kind of tick it off. And then I think there's a water dungeon in this that again was kind of notoriously obtuse to navigate, whereas they gave it like almost like a color coding signposty angle to it to make it easier to follow. So I think there are some purists who think that it's not the definitive version on the 3DS. However, I disagree with them, and I think that it actually does have all of those things I mentioned are enough of a quality of life improvement that it's by far more enjoyable to play it on the 3DS than it is on the N64. But it's a legendary game for sure of Zelda.
We'll see, because we're doing Ocarina of Time this year, so maybe I'll keep the run going after I finish.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
If I'm still in the mood.
Double. Yeah. Right. Next one, WWF No Mercy. You could talk about that. Have you got memories of that one? Is that one of the ones that you had, or did you just have the WCW ones at the time?
WWF No Mercy. WWF. I'm sure I did. I just want to double check here. No, actually, I didn't play this one either.
Oh, that's the one with the menu music where it was like dick diggity, dick diggity dog.
I've just seen this. No, my wrestling, Nintendo wrestling was WrestleMania 2000 WCW versus NWO Revenge, and then there was another WCW one, I'm sure.
Yeah, there was a World Tour as well. Was the first one.
That one as well, but those were the two. Yeah, this one passed me by, unfortunately.
Yeah, I took No Mercy to a friend's house a couple of weeks ago with my analog, and I was really surprised to hear him say the same thing. He said, "Oh, this one passed me by the end of the console's life cycle."
No Mercy on the Nintendo 64.
Fascinating about this chat that we're having is like how, because of the age we were at when this console was around, how like certain games just did not penetrate certain friendship groups. Like, my friendship groups were GoldenEye mad. I genuinely don't think I knew anyone that had Perfect Dark.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think this one's similar. All my friends had WCW versus NWO Revenge, and then WrestleMania 2000. None of them played this one.
I see. Well, yeah, because we were all massive wrestling fans. So it was like, I've got to get every wrestling game that comes out on this system. Like, I'm having it day one. And then the SmackDown games too. Like, had to get them all. Even if it wasn't me, one of my friends had to get it. Yes, I think it was THQ by that point. I mean, it must have always been THQ that published them over here. Yeah. This was the one that infamously had the save glitch or the bug in it where it would get. It's got like a single player kind of career mode thing where I think you can go for like every belt, and I think it basically would break. I think one of the if you got far enough into the game, it would basically just delete your progress. And it was on fucking Watchdog. Like Anne Robinson was on the telly on BBC talking about WWF No Mercy on the N64 because like loads of people's parents were complaining about it. And you know, in the era before patching and updates and stuff, the Nintendo, THQ had to issue replacement carts to all the ones that had the save game bug in it. Yeah, so you can get a version of this. You know, if you go and buy a version of it on eBay or from CEX or whatever, you can still get the balked one out there. If you want to be careful which one you buy. If you buy a cart of this one, you want to get the later revision of it. Otherwise, you can't play the single play because it will break every time. Mad. How'd that get out of the door?
That go out the door, yeah.
Yeah. The last game that came out of note. Oh no, sorry, second to last game of note. Banjo-Tooie. How the mighty fell.
Yeah, that is got to be up there again. Like making wide, sweeping, hyperbolic statements up there with like hero to zero moments. I just did not get on with this game at all.
Yeah, it's just it does. So like several things that are just too egregious to kind of forgive it and want to put up with it. I think the most egregious thing that it does, aside from like having too many mini games in it, especially the ones where you have to do like first person shooter stuff, like it just wasn't
stuff. I just couldn't be bothered, and there's just too much of it.
And it just keeps coming back. Yeah, it was, and it's too easy to get lost. It just wasn't fun.
No,
like again, these dudes made incredible first person shooters, but to think that you could just transpose that any way you want and it still be gold was maybe a bit too kind of full of bravado.
Yeah.
But the worst thing that it does is the backtracking, and by which I mean you're in a level, there's a jiggy that you need to get, but you can't get it because you need a certain power, so you have to wait till you've gone to another level, get that power, and then come back. In Banjo-Kazooie, there is one instance of that. I think maybe one or two. It's where you go to. It's one. You're in Freezeezy Peak. You've got to race some fat lad polar bear, and who's on a sledge. You can't beat him unless you go get like the trainers thing from Gobby's Valley or Gobi's Valley.
Yeah, of course.
That is it. In Banjo-Tooie, there are 16 instances of that. Some guy called Press A on YouTube. He actually was like, he counted them all. There are 16 instances where you will be in a level and you cannot finish that level and get all the jiggies until you go do another one and then come back again. And considering all the levels are bigger and longer, then yeah, it's just wasting your time. It's the Donkey Kong 64 thing all over again. It's them. That had already come out by now, right?
Donkey Kong 64.
Had that already come out? Yes, it came out in 99.
Yes.
So they weren't learning their lessons about making these things less bloated. They probably didn't even learn that by a ukulele until they fixed it. I just can't believe that for the highs that Rare hit, and Perfect Dark is a high, but some of the other stuff, like I said, Mickey Speedway and this, when they had what will very soon be revealed as two of my favorite N64 games and games of all time in Diddy Kong Racing and Banjo-Kazooie, for the follow-ups on that same console, still under the Nintendo banner, to be as poor as they are, or at least as forgettable as they are, and games that I just don't want to play ever, is so upsetting, especially considering Nuts and Bolts came after this and the downward spiral continued. I just wish, part of me still just wants to force it and be like, get to the end, just to say you've not given up on it, because all I've ever done is give up on it. Even when I used to own, I own the cart now, but I used to own this box. I got it for Christmas, and I sold it when I was at uni for like a pittance for what it's worth now, or was at its peak, probably just to buy the latest FIFA or something shit.
It's 17 hours long just to finish it, and then to do 100%, it's about 24 hours. That's a
a
long
lot
time to dig in, mate.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And then the last one, Paper Mario.
I've tried to play this a couple of times. It just makes me read a lot.
It does. It's a slow starter, real slow starter.
But I do hear I should push through.
Yeah, it's good. The gameplay loop is great fun, and it's got quite a lot of variety in it, and the companions are good, and the writing is good. Mm-hmm. It's just a little bit full of itself to kind of start off with. It's it's lighthearted. It's mostly jokes at Luigi's expense. Perhaps is a little bit fond of its own voice, but yeah, this one and the sequel I just find really, really charming and a really great chilled out JRPG that you can kind of almost forget is a JRPG when you're playing it after a while. Another one maybe we'll come back to at another time.
Yep.
I'm gonna sort of run through the rest of them.
So I think with Mario, like you're not coming back to this. So I think how to word this so it sounded like a bell end. I take it you're not coming back to this for the story, right? Is this just a fun gameplay loop? Because I feel like a lot of JRPGs do like to sniff their own farts, but at their heart, there is a great story to it. So like context, you and I are playing, well, you're a game ahead of me, but the Final Fantasy VII remakes, and like this game really loves the smell of its own farts, but at the heart of it, there is a cool story. Is there a cool story in like how much of a cool story can you make out of Mario, really?
I can't fully remember the story in the first one versus the one in Thousand Year Door because I've played that quite a few times more.
Okay.
But I remember them being pretty good.
Okay.
In that Mario is kind of meeting wholly invented characters for the game, but also they do twists on Bowser and Peach, where Bowser is not necessarily an adversary for the whole time. I think one of them you get to play as Bowser for a bit. As I said before, like, the writing is kind of solid. The writing, I think, was the biggest strong point in that nobody kind of expected it out of Nintendo, a company historically who have made Zelda games that have really kind of serious tones to them, even though they're kind of not fully dark or adult, but they're not making jokes constantly. And then the Mario games basically have no writing in them. So for them to kind of like really flesh out Mario's world and have companions like a Goomba companion and a Koopa Trooper and stuff, and make their personalities all actually interesting, and some of the jokes actually be funny, I think was one of the biggest surprises of this game and its sequel. Is just kind of like,
I've always wanted to make,
oh shit, this Nintendo can actually make jokes that are funny if they try. And the second one especially, like every chapter feels really distinct from one another. Like I think in the second game you're doing stuff like, one of them is like almost like a murder mystery on a train for like an entire level. I think one of them you've got like the final boss fight is like a wrestling match in a wrestling ring and all this kind of stuff. Like it's there's a lot of variety and stuff in the gameplay that kind of keeps that ticking along. Whether the story itself is amazing is, like the actual plot is as good as the moment to moment writing is another matter, but surprisingly good for what you'd expect from a series that basically has Princess be kidnapped by Bowser and you save her and it ends. Sometimes you get cake, sometimes you don't. The rest of the stuff that came out in 2000, ECW Hardcore Revolution, a game I bought in York that I'm pretty sure you asked me, is this like the No Mercy games, or is this like the Warzone games?
First question whenever I come to this sort of era of wrestling games, who made it?
Yes, and it is an Acclaim game, so therefore it's absolutely horrendous. But worth noting because that's ECW's. I think they ended up with 2 video games. I think there was a sequel to this one. But both of them absolutely terrible. Yeah.
Good.
Well, actually, I once posted on the N64 subreddit, I posted my N64 collection a while ago when I got to 100 games, I think. And some clever dick in the comments pointed out that I had apparently put the stickers on upside down, and he called it heresy or something, sacrilege or some shit. So I had them. Oh, hold on, I've got to get one for an example. Oh, look at this. A 007. The world is not enough. Top of the pile. So I initially had it. So for those not watching, the sticker on the game is facing up, and then the top of it is now facing effectively what looks like upside down.
Yeah, that's how I would have had it. Because when if you're stacking it, you lie on its back.
Yeah, so you stack them that way up.
Yeah.
Whereas I had it the same, so that the font was the same way up as the sticker, but that's apparently wrong. And then I did look at my NES collection, and they are this way. So I went and painstakingly. Thankfully, although they stick on well, they do peel off quite nicely. So I went back and undid. I've got like loads of these games, 130 of them or something. I went back and undid every single sticker and redid it the right way up.
And have you, for your Japanese versions of games, have you got Japanese art, or have you just gone with the sticker that you have?
No, I stuck the PAL ones on there in the end.
Yeah,
no one's going to know unless they go through my collection specifically and go, hold on a minute, this is Japanese text. You tricked me.
Obviously, I'm a very nascent stage of my N64 collection, but I've ended up with too many Japanese games. Well, more Japanese games than English games, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, but there's a novelty to that.
Yeah.
And you went to a shop in Sore Thumb in York that they go to Japan every year, maybe twice. So you're rewarding them for their.
They seem to be cheaper as
travels.
So I'm quite happy with
that. They're always cheaper, yeah, because no one can bloody well understand them. But there's nothing to understand in Kirby, so that's fine. Ridge Racer 64, right? I tried this and I really didn't like it.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad you're saying that, because I tried it as well and didn't get on with it either. And I was like, is there something wrong with this? Because usually I like Ridge Racer games.
Yeah. I don't know why. I always thought that this was supposed to have been quite similar to Type 4, but that's not at all the case. It's nothing like that game. It doesn't have the same level of style, and it handles terribly. Like, I was really disappointed, because this was almost like a black spot in my Ridge Racer recent knowledge after having gone for a bit of a binge of them in the last couple of years, and I thought, I finally get to see how Nintendo's one holds up. Didn't like it.
Nope. No, I agree with you.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, which came out 2001 for us as well. Obviously, ours was just called Tony Hawk's Skateboarding. I've never played it on the N64, I don't think, but I can't imagine that the compressed nature of that soundtrack is going to make it sing on that console the way that it deserves.
No, I've got I should have researched this before we podcasted about it. I've got a feeling it doesn't have the same.
It doesn't.
The music loop, they are much shorter, aren't they?
Yeah, it's going to be like the WWF games again, where me and my mate used to sit and listen to the entrances in the menus to pretend we were playing wrestling, and then when you get the PlayStation version and it's got CD quality and the whole song's on there, you're like, oh, what the hell are we doing? Listening to 15-second loops and crushed MIDI or whatever it was.
Listening on it is painful.
Yeah, but it's terrible. I'm sure it plays fine.
Seems fine. Yeah, I'm not sure that control. We spoke about the N64 control in the last podcast. In this instance, I'm not sure the controller might lend itself terribly well.
Yeah, I'd imagine they're going to use which I do for Tony Hawk anyway. Yeah. I can imagine A, B, left C, down C is probably the control scheme there to try and mimic the PlayStation face buttons, and just the left, top and right C are probably bend off.
Yeah, in some ways you kind of would just want it to be the C buttons.
Yeah, you almost would. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd need to try it to see. Yeah. Maybe I just need to play it just for posterity, just to kind of see what it actually is like. Sort of like Resi 2. Like, what's it actually like on this console?
You don't have an option, mate.
Yeah.
N64 is your life. You've got
to. Excite Bike 64, again, another 2001 game, came out in PAL. I've never played it. Probably should. It's supposed to be all right. I quite like the original NES Excite Bike. Just what a random game to make a sequel for. So late in the console's lifespan as well.
It's weird. It's nothing like Excite Bike, though, is it? Really?
I suppose not. Or is it?
So it looks like
what is Excite Bike if not just bikes going over jumps?
There is a level that is mimicking the NES game.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. But this guy just seems to be going up a hill. I'm not really sure what the aim of this is. Yeah,
I can't imagine that sold well. No. Sounds incredibly niche. But maybe that kind of thing was still going then. You know, you've got Tony Hawk, you've got 1080, you've got whatever. Like, let's just do all the extreme sports.
Yeah, I mean, you may as well.
Maybe they were big.
That they're giving it a go.
It is, isn't it?
Spiritual successor is probably my favorite. I feel like Trials HD is a sort of spiritual successor for.
I think it is.
It used to be, right?
Yeah, I think it is. Maybe it was a spiritual successor to Excite Bike 64, and we don't even know it yet.
We don't even know it.
I doubt it. John Romero's Daikatana. A game that I believe people seem to think on PC is actually passable, but the N64 port is supposedly anus.
Okay. Yeah.
In every way.
Yeah.
So I've been back listening to his audiobooks. I realized I hadn't actually got anywhere near finishing it.
Oh,
does he talk about this on there?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I need to get to that. I need to get to it. Is he remorseful and apologetic, or is he like?
I'm glad you're.
Or is he po-faced and?
No, I'm glad you've gone back to it actually, because he comes across as a man who is genuinely a kind dude and is incredibly thankful for the life that video games has given him, and sort of reflective and at peace with the controversies and the failings that he's encountered along the way, as well as his successes. I would say keep going, you'll enjoy it, and he's a dude that you can feel good about being a fan of. Yeah,
well, having met him, he was incredibly pleasant when I met him.
So like, sorry to sort of like elaborate upon that. From what I can remember of it, I might actually go back and listen to it again. Now you've put me in the mood. He goes back and talks about his fallout with John Carmack.
See, I'm nowhere near any of this. This is the thing, is why I kind of dropped off it. Is it does feel after a while like it gets a little bit dry when you've done like, here's the Commander Keen stuff, here's the Wolfenstein, here's the Doom 2, and all of it is just kind of like, there are some problems, and it's really interesting to hear about how they made all of those games happen, but a lot of it is still at the moment still kind of almost like patting himself on the back a little bit, or explaining systems in how to make video games. It's like, I want to get to the bit where you all fell out and then you made some terrible games.
It's quite vicious. It sounds like the way he left it was pretty viciously done. And I think it took him a long time to sort of come to peace. And then him and John Carmack are now in speaking terms again, which is nice. But he's quite reflective on it, which is he's not even really that nasty to anyone. I don't think. He just sort of says, "This is what happens. This was my perspective of it. We disagreed."
Okay, cool. I mean, he's obviously still very complimentary of the genius of people like Carmack and all that sort of stuff. So I think I just got to one of the parts where they had to fire some dude. I can't remember who it was now, but it's one of the first dudes they ever had to fire, and he had to give up his like shares in the company and everything just because he just wasn't into Quake enough or something.
Yeah, no, it's really, really interesting.
But I can't wait to hear about Daikatana, because that game fascinates me, even though I've never played it.
And like obviously had money troubles and development troubles and things like that. And he also spread himself very thin, hiring lots of people, and because like he was like a god at that time. Obviously, they gave him a blank check when perhaps he maybe should have had a bit more support and oversight than he was given.
Mm. Who made that? Who made that game? He had publisher funding. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. They gave him money to set up his business. It was Ion Storm, which he set up.
Yeah.
And it was published by Eidos.
Right. Okay. Oh, actually, the next game is 007. The World Is Not Enough. What's your Bond? What was that Bond game you played? It's a PlayStation game, wasn't it? Nightfire?
Nightfire, yeah.
What's your Bond game experience outside of GoldenEye and that one? But from that kind of era. Any? None?
I'm trying to think.
Did you ever play any PlayStation 1s of any kind? God, this cartridge needs a clean. Sorry.
Bond video, all James Bond video games. So, because I'm now wondering, unless I can see something here, I think I maybe did GoldenEye and then didn't touch it again until the Xbox 360 era with Quantum of Solace, and then GoldenEye that came out in Wii.
Oof. Woof. Yeah, I had that as well.
Yeah,
I even played that online. It was fucking awful.
Tomorrow Never Dies. Did I ever play that? That was.
I've never played that. Yeah, I've never played that.
No.
What else have they got? Is there a game called Agent Under Fire? Have I just made that up?
Yep, James Bond Agent Under Fire. I think I've played that. Let's have a look.
Was it Edge? Was it Edge that recently had a little feature at the back about From Russia with Love or something?
I think you're right, yeah, because that's the one
that
sort of sticks
that
out.
Almost made me want to play that. I haven't even read it, but I just thought if Edge is talking about this, it can't be absolute wank. It could be, but...
Yes, is that not the From Russia with Love is a third person?
It's a Sean Connery game, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I kind of want to play it because it's got like Bond using the jetpack and stuff like that. It sort of goes back to the Bond era, but I don't know how it was received.
It smacks of 7 high 6,
right.
doesn't it?
GameSpot gave it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah. See, I'd play a 7 out of 10 Bond. I just did.
It's got
on the PS5.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think it looks like, so we've got, a whole bunch of games, and I didn't really play any of them. I don't think.
EA just have, such a bad record with most of them, don't they?
Yeah, looking at these games.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of good Bond games, to be fair. There's like some that are maybe worth playing, like From Russia with Love,
Nightfire, I suppose,
was quite,
which you've already played.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed that. The controls were confusing me a little bit. But other than that, it's just a bunch of bad video games. I think Indiana Jones suffers a lot from this as well. There's not many good ones of those.
Yeah, thankfully that ship has been righted. But yes, you're right. Unless it was a point and click, and that maybe that Xbox original one, which is all right.
Yeah, I remember really liking that.
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of the SNES one. That's almost impossible.
The Master System one was the one that always jumps to mind for me for Indiana Jones, which is god awful.
Oh, I can only imagine. What else we got? Mickey Speedway USA. I already talked about that. It's a real shame. Just not. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Maybe all the Diddy Kong Racing people were sick that day. Ready to Rumble Boxing Round 2.
No,
you're a Ready to Rumble fan, right?
Yeah. I think I played it on Nintendo 64 as well. Was my my main platform. I loved that game. So much fun. Partial to boxing, especially in that era, and I think it's just a sort of good, arcadey, fun beat 'em up. Really, punch 'em up. Yeah,
we played. Was it that one or the original in our PS2 launch pod?
That's interesting. I think I maybe played the Redream version.
Oh, did we play it for a Dreamcast pod? I can't remember when we played it, but yeah, this felt like it was almost kind of like sort of not kidnapped, but you know what I mean, like Sega grabbed hold of this to make it kind of part of the Dreamcast, because I think it was part of their launch, maybe, was it, or was it, unless it was PS2, but I definitely remember the Dreamcast kind of push for this sort of acted like it was, you played it here first, even though it had already come out on N64.
Let's have a look. European launch for the Dreamcast. Ready to Rumble Boxing. You are correct.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I remember that being championed quite a lot by them as being like a much better version. It probably was, to be fair.
I think it probably was. Like I say, it's a fairly simple, like 4-button boxing game.
Like wacky characters
with like fight like a bunch of different moves that are quite fun.
Like sort of super moves kind of thing.
Yeah, and like I say, the characters are extremely wacky. They're funny. There's like this big, massive, large lady that just comes and like bellies you instead of punching you, then there's like the sort of main character, the Afro guy. There's just a nice sort of selection of different characters that are sort of emulating people from popular culture. I suspect a lot of them. Like there's a Butterbean.
Yes. Yes. Butterbean himself was in it, right? It was just Butterbean. I think.
Just Butterbean?
I think so. Michael Jackson's in one of them.
And then obviously, if you're making a funny boxing game, you've got to have the English guy with the moustache that holds his gloves.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like yeah.
I'm pretty sure when we played the PS2 one or whatever it was that we played, I did a little bit of a season mode with that guy.
And the season mode was quite fun as well, if I remember.
It's quite in depth, quite long.
You had to do training. You had to like choose what to do along the character in the lead up to your fights, whether you were sort of and you had to like choose what you were training. So it was like stamina, strength, skills and things like that. So it was a game that it was sort of fun, simple, but also had a level of depth that I wouldn't have expected from this.
Yeah, I think you also had to choose whether you wanted to do the training or kind of sim the training for lesser results.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. And then the last one that came out in 2000, which only came out in Japan in 2000, but is now on the Switch games, is Sin and Punishment, Successor of the Earth, a game that I paid a pretty penny to get hold of when I got my Japanese N64, and I think it's a phenomenal game. It almost went in my top 10.
Oh, did it?
But I think I've never finished it. I didn't put it in there, but it is one of those games where Treasure obviously make banging shooters. We know this. We've played Radiant Silvergun. We've played a bit of Ikaruga before. This was before both of the. Well, maybe it was actually after Radiant Silvergun. It just feels like this one, with again kind of being like an on rails type experience, similar, of course, to Star Fox.
I was going to say the sort of shooting looks very Star Foxy.
Yes. But whereas Star Fox had you flying around and using the analog stick to kind of, to do all your moving, this one doesn't have that. I think it actually uses the analog stick just for the cursor. So to move your character, you're basically using the C buttons to move left and right and jump. I think you're using L and R to do stuff. They seem to really understand how to make this game work on that controller. It almost feels made for like a slightly weirder control system, and it just really works. And the challenge of it is not too insane compared to the Ikarugas of their catalog. Looks great, runs really well. It's just a really cool game that a lot of people kind of wanting to get hold of while we were waiting, well, it never came out over here. Then when the Wii Virtual Console came out, that was finally when we got it in the West for the first time, and they've now redone it on the Switch's Nintendo Switch Online N64 catalog as well. And the whole game has English voice acting in it anyway, so it was all just Japanese text, so it's always been playable in the West without needing a patch or anything like that. But definitely, this is one for you to pick up on the Switch and give a go at some point.
Great.
Really cool. The worst games in 2000, according to N64 magazine, as we were talking about last time, Tigger's Honey Hunt, 36%. They said another tiresome Disney-themed platformer that even youngsters will loathe. Pooh, and they put an H on the word poo.
Funny.
Yes. Tom and Jerry Fists of Furry, 35%. I don't have any blurb here because I'm almost certain I didn't find it anywhere even close to funny, so I didn't bother. I don't even know if they tried to make a joke, so I didn't even type it out. Taz Express, I don't really know what that is. Obviously it's Taz the Tasmanian Devil. I don't know what the Express part of it is. They said that got 27%. They said utterly hateful, and I don't understand where this dig came from, but it says only slightly more involving than a Kevin Bacon convention and just as ugly. Shots fired.
Yes.
Catching the strays. Is the convention ugly or is Kevin Bacon ugly? I never understood that line.
Yeah, I don't understand that line either. I didn't think Kevin Bacon was particularly ugly, so...
Yeah. I think we talked about this last time, where Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue got 9%.
Oh my god, I watched Jeff Gershman play that recently. Holy jamoli. That game is atrocious.
Yeah, sounds like it. I need to watch that video wherever that is.
I'll send you a link. Oh my good days.
Yeah, please do. Disney's Tarzan 30. A lot of Disney shit coming along here. Or cartoony stuff. 35% that one. 2D platformer completely bereft of imagination, invention, or any sense of fun. Utterly odious. That's a great word to describe a video game. Blues Brothers 2000 got 28%. About as bad as the movie. Purchase at your peril. And that brings us on to 2001, the final year, the final nail in the N64's coffin. The 64DD was discontinued in February 2001. Only 10 64DD discs were ever released, including 3 third-party games and 1 internet application suite.
Yes.
Those games were Mario Artist Paint Studio. Get ready for that to be a theme. Doshin the Giant, Mario Artist Talent Studio, SimCity 64, F-Zero X expansion kit, the only game apparently worth having on that system because that also had a track designer in it. Japan Pro Golf Tour 64, Mario Artist Communication Kit, which was the internet thing, and Mario Artist Polygon Studio. What a colossal waste of everybody's time, of marketing, of research and development, of investment. Just dog shit. A real black mark in Nintendo's history that sits alongside what? The Virtual Boy?
Yeah.
Slightly worse than the, below the Wii U, of course. But what the fuck were they thinking?
Do you think it was just a terrible idea from start to finish? Was it implemented badly? Was it not supported? Was it marketed poorly? Was it all of the above?
I think they might. I can't remember really how far into it we've gone, but they obviously just. I don't know whether just nobody had any interest in developing for it. It seems like the tech was there. They built so much of the hype for the console around this thing. Everyone was talking about it throughout the entire life cycle of the console until about 2000, when it was becoming clear that they were never actually going to bring this thing out, certainly in the West. But they were like, Zelda was supposed to be on this fucking thing. Ocarina of Time was supposed to be a 64 DD game until they decided not to do it. It felt like a desperate attempt, as we said before, to kind of get back into this whole easy or cheaper to produce disc stuff, so people could make games more easily than the cartridges are less expensive. I'm sure if they had actually done something with it, they probably could have made some impressive stuff. But it just in an era where you can clearly see that Sega is fucking itself into the ground with pointless add-ons that cost more money and piss people off and don't have a proper support. Like, this should have always been a red flag as do not go down this route. Like, focus on one of the, the core thing that you have. But I don't know exactly why it was ended up being so pointless. It just doesn't make any sense. Whether they must have had problems with getting it working the way they wanted. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They must have done. Or they just couldn't get support for it. And they just were like, we have nothing. We still have nothing. We can't bring it out until we have something. And then they never had something anyway. They never did have something.
I wonder if, do you think maybe also Nintendo 64 sales were lower than they had hoped? So they're like, well, this is already a niche market or niche-ish market. Do we want to further sort of fragment this?
Yeah, they were losing all the time. And every year, as we've said, again, last episode, every year of the N64's life, the sales dropped while the PS1 sales kept going up until the PS2 came out, basically. So, yeah, desperation probably just made them think, let's just put it on the back burner constantly because we've got to claw our way back, I suppose.
Shame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, the idea is shame. The implementation seems like it was maybe not a bad thing that it didn't come out here.
Yeah. But do I want one? Fucking hell, boy, howdy, do I want one. E3 2001, their focus was entirely on the GameCube at this point. They had some very minimal N64 presence. Basically, it was Conker's Bad Fur Day again. Sans beer this time, I assume, and Pokemon Stadium 2, because as I said earlier on, clinging to just people who want to play Pokemon on a console, and that's the only console they've got other than the handheld one. So yeah, they released the GBA in March of 2001 and the GameCube in September 2001, and then the N64 was discontinued in 2002. The console as well, we've mentioned it before, was sort of plagued by some pretty key delays. I did a little rundown here of the biggest delays of its entire era. The 64DD, as we've just mentioned, that was originally expected to come out in late 97, came out in, well, December 99 in Japan only. Ocarina of Time was supposed to come out in 97, didn't come out until November 98. Donkey Kong 64 went from 98 to November 99. Perfect Dark was supposed to be a 99 game, got delayed until May 2000. Dinosaur Planet, that we spoke about earlier on, that was supposed to come out on the N64 in 2000. It just got moved to the GameCube as Star Fox Adventures. And Mother 3, that I saw in many a magazine in its sort of early years, never even came out anywhere, completely cancelled. I think it came out on the GBA in Japan, I think, but never came out on the N64 at all. In total, the N64 sold 32.93 million units in its lifespan worldwide. The PS1 sold 102.49 million, and the Sega Saturn sold 9.26 million. Very comfortably second place on both sides of the argument there.
Yeah.
102.49 for the PS1. Mental. First console in the industry, and to smash it like that. And realistically carry on as well.
You and I have been speaking about the N64 quite a lot recently because, well, obviously because of this podcast, the anniversary, having been down to York, but also because of the Jeff Gerstmann has moved on from the NES to the N64 through library. What's your sort of view on how the N64 is viewed in the larger community, and in two, sort of how fair or unfair, realistic, unrealistic you think that is?
How is it? How would you say it is viewed in the larger community? I think it's pretty well thought of.
I think it's probably quite well thought of. It's very fondly thought of.
For the Nintendo quote unquote failure consoles, I think this is the most well thought of. If you count it, if you talk about this and the Wii U and, well, Virtual Boy and all that kind of stuff. People really like it. It's got some of the most important games ever. It's got some of my favorite games ever.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going with this in terms of like the comparison, because I would say it's almost universally loved, the Nintendo 64 in retrospect. When you go back and look at the games, there's a lot of nonsense on this console. Oh yeah, and for a small library, that's not a good ratio. No, and it's weirdly like, I'm trying to think of an example. Me playing golf, it's a hero or a zero. There's no in between. Like that to me. Like, I mean, that's probably unfair. There probably is a lot of average games on this, but I feel like the Nintendo 64 is largely remembered fondly for a fairly small number of true sort of industry all-timers.
Yeah.
Which is odd, really, I think.
I think if you... Well, I think part of that is obviously due to the incredible leap forward that this generation was. Arguably, there has never been a bigger one.
May never be again.
May never be, exactly. Yeah. No, there can't be. There can't be, because we all know that VR's not it. So what else is there to truly leap forward into? We've done motion, we've done VR, we've done AR. Unless it's like an implant in my brain next, then what else are they going to do? But yeah, I think it's also going to be indicative of that era as well, that a 7 out of 10 just doesn't feel playable to the 7 out of 10 standards that you'd have from the PS2 onwards. I just think early 3D gaming, if it's not an absolute classic, and even if it is, when Mario 64 is, but does it play as well as any of the other 3D Mario games. Well, maybe Sunshine, but not really.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
So, yeah, the absolute classics on PS1, N64 are going to hold up to an extent. Some people just can never get into them because they still feel too old at this point now anyway. But if you're anything sort of middling or below, then it is a really bad time. And I think the Saturn does have some of that in its favor, in that it was such a 2D powerhouse that a lot of its kind of middling catalog feels a bit more palatable now because it's a lot simpler and it's a lot nicer to look at because it's 2D sprites and shorter games, arcade focused stuff. Whereas some of these games are going to be still pretty massive and, quite involved games, but they just are not fun to play anymore. Which maybe is the problem with Conker's Bad Fur Day, which is one of the key games of that year. The only other ones they really had on N64 was Pokemon Stadium 2, which came out in 2000 in Japan anyway. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, Mario Party 3, one of the most expensive first-party games on the system for some reason. Again, Japan got that in 2000. And Star Wars Episode 1 Battle for Naboo, which is basically just like the one Rogue Squadron game no one ever remembers anymore.
Yeah.
Which came out in the US in 2000 as well. And there was also a game that came out, Scooby-Doo Classic Creep Capers, which got 23% in N64 Mag, which they claim was a Resident Evil ripoff, but they said it was abysmal in every sense of the word.
Say the name of that game again. Scooby-Doo
Classic Creep Capers.
Oh my god, it is.
Is it really?
Well, kind of.
Is it like fixed camera angles and stuff?
I'm trying to see. Yeah. Yes and no. I've seen most levels seem to be fixed camera angles. But there are bits that aren't. Oh, that's so weird. Yeah, that's a game that needs to be watched more of. What a strange game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a funny old console. Like I say, the highs are some of the highest that there's ever been. And there's just a lot of lows as well. But
the PlayStation's going to have more lows for sure, because it's just a higher
sheer
volume
numbers,
of software.
right? Yeah.
But as a ratio, maybe it doesn't work out all that well. Yeah.
Yeah, and it also just, I don't know, it just got caught. It's sort of the changing of technology, right? It was easier to put out games on PlayStation, I suppose, cheaper. They sounded better. Don't know if they looked better particularly, but
I think this did more for sort of the evolution of video games in the PlayStation.
Very good question. I think they probably
I suppose you look at it like it's got the sort of the first true like 3D platformer with a movable camera, all that kind of stuff. It's got a console shooter that was really good, like groundbreaking. It's got Ocarina of Time, largely thought of as for a long time as the greatest game ever made. But it didn't have any RPGs really that anyone gave a shit about, and the PlayStation obviously not revolutionized, but the evolution of JRPGs from the SNES to the PlayStation is quite considerable. That had a lot more mature stuff on it, a lot more like horror, adult content.
Where my brain went when you were talking about it, it's like Metal Gear Solid, Resident Evil.
It's kind of cinematic stuff. Yeah.
I think they probably both have, obviously they both have their place. That's a really good question. We were talking about highs and lows. Are the highs of the N64 higher than the highs of the PlayStation?
Well, we ranked it lower in our console ranking, so maybe we don't think so. Or maybe we just use Resident Evil bias for that. I don't know.
Well, I think when you were
Resi and Metal Gear
initially, I think I would have to think on it quite extensively to come up with a definitive conclusion. But my sort of gut reaction is that they're probably both quite important for different reasons. Like
there's no question.
The N64, like you say, it's got some of the best games of all time. It's got it revolutionized control schemes that I think that you can, again, like you can draw parallels right through to today.
Analog stick, rumble pack.
There was a sort of like PlayStation felt like it almost was like the adultification of video games. That
it was. Yeah,
like I say,
there's a purity to this console over the PlayStation almost.
There's like Resident Evil, and again like Metal Gear Solid, which again are both in their own right massively important games. Eventually it got taken. I think the control schemes, PlayStation perhaps did a better job of pivoting because they released a new controller that got massive uptake with the DualShocks.
Yeah, never changed the design since.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's a very good and interesting question that I think I don't have a satisfactory, succinct answer to.
Don't think I do either.
No.
Yeah.
Which I guess is the root of all good questions, Alex.
Yeah. Right, let's take a quick break. I'm going to go get an alcohol-free beer, and then let's do our top 10s.
Awesome.
Welcome back. Time for a top 10. As always, individual lists. If your game is higher in the other person's list, that person will say so. And then you talk about it later. What's your number 10, David?
I've realised I've made a top 11 for some reason. So ignoring number 11.
Oh, what's got dropped? What's just dropped out?
Wave Race.
Oh, poor old Wave Race.
Poor old Wave Race. My number 10 is ISS 64.
Higher in my list.
Excellent news.
Not much higher. Number 10, I ended up... I think I said this. I don't know if I said this before, that I didn't want to have certain things. I didn't want to have like more than one of.
Yep.
So I didn't put both GoldenEye and Perfect Dark in there. I didn't put anything more than one wrestling game in there. And the one thing I did break the rule for when I had to come down to brass tacks was I had to have both the Zelda games in there. So Majora's Mask, a game we've already spoken about on this pod, is my number 10.
It's not on my list because I've not played it.
Yeah, exactly. My number 9 is ISS 64. So take us through your thoughts.
It's just such a pure video game that it's just like football at its most fun. Like we speak about this quite regularly about our video games, and most predominantly probably when we discuss the Dreamcast. But like it just comes at an era when video games, particularly sports games, and again more particularly football games, were made to be fun rather than simulations of the real sport, if that is fair.
Yeah.
And I think this is a great version of that.
Definitely has its chops though as a football game, I think.
It does, yeah. It's got ISS in the name, so it maybe isn't, but it feels like a sort of early version of what would become the classics on the PS2, right?
Yeah, it was before they kind of split and one was doing ISS and one was doing Pro Evo. Yes, this was just the core football team at Konami, yeah.
I find sports games, in particular football games, difficult to speak about because, like, how many times can you say it's just fun? It's responsive, it's quick. It's when you play with your friends, you can have, if you're of a similar skill level, you can have surprisingly intense games for such a game that looks pretty old by today's standards, obviously. And it's sort of unique. Like it doesn't feel necessarily like I say, like not like a simulation, but like it's got its own sort of control scheme to it that's unique and not necessarily strictly football, if that makes sense. Is it Blitz the League was an NFL type game that was its sort of own thing. I sort of would put this in that sort of camp. It's just kick, ball, run, tackle, shoot, and there's not really that much more depth to it.
I think I think there is that is definitely how it feels. I think that's more probably could be linked more to like the limitations of the era, because I would say if you compare it to anything else that was around at the time, this was not only the most fun, this definitely played like the best game of simulation football at that point in time as well for me. Yeah, I think the original, like the early FIFA games, they definitely had like, certainly when it comes to like FIFA International Soccer, the first one, when you compare that to what was around at the time, that one felt like the sort of flashiest, biggest budget kind of like that had the aesthetic simulation of football down. And then the first ISS game on the SNES and a Mega Drive, again, that one played just like a really solid game of football, looked really nice. This just bumped that up a complete like extra level. Compare this to FIFA 64. FIFA 64, that was in one of our worst games that we talked about earlier. Absolutely terrible. I think the FIFA games that came out around this time, 99, Road to World Cup,
so I'm Googling it. And
they're okay.
Came out this year.
Yeah, I mean that's FIFA 97 is awful.
The first FIFA game I properly remember is probably 99, or is it 98? The one with Dennis Bergkamp in the corner.
Yeah, that's FIFA 98, I think. Yeah. No, that's FIFA 99. You're right, it's FIFA 99. I don't think that game's good at all. I mean, this is obviously, there is bias because both of us have this ISS in our top 10. But that one just feels really, I don't know, like it's kind of basic, but at the same time, it's just like, it just doesn't feel as much like real football as ISS does, even though ISS is kind of still arcadey and silly, and you can never get a yellow card for some reason, even though you can foul someone as much as you want. Like the refs just don't give a shit. You can score curlers from miles out. Like the original FIFA games just feel like spongy and floaty and just, I don't know, there's something almost weird about them.
No, I agree with you.
They're just there.
Like, and this is why I feel like I'm a bit inadequate when it comes to discussing football games, because looking at the gameplay just now for FIFA 97, it looks like someone's trying to make a football game that looks like it's on TV, like you're watching on TV. I never had that. I never really had that impression from ISS. I think in my mind,
I think visually, you're probably right.
The designers always put like, is this fun first? Whereas I watch a FIFA game and people's, it's, to me it seems first, does this look like a TV, like football does in the TV?
Yeah.
And I guess you either like that or you don't. But I often think back to like there was people sitting next to us like laughing because you and I were like screaming at the TV screen when we were playing ISS 64 in Glasgow. And I just think like there's few games like of any era really that can just instantly elicit that reaction, which is why I was like, it needs to be on my list somewhere.
Absolutely. What's your number 9 now?
My number 9 is Mario Kart 64.
That is not on my list.
This is a game that is funny because it started up really high on my list, and then the more I thought about it, the more I then obviously played it in anticipation for this podcast.
Right.
And the more I sort of started adding different games to it, it just kept falling and falling and falling. I think we may have spoken about this quickly on the previous podcast, but like what will I do? Positive then negative, or negative then positive? Let's go negative then positive. Going back to playing it again, it feels incredibly empty in a way that I didn't remember it being in the past. Like there's just not a lot happening on the screen. Like there's big wide, like is it Moo Moo Farm or something? Is one of the early ones you play, and I remember that being like fast, like crowded, lots happening, and actually it's just like these wide open brown smudges with very, very little happening. The positive though is it reminded me that there are some true all-time classic maps or race courses in this.
That's the best thing about the game.
Yeah, and that's kind of what so the quality of the map design as they sort of became in later games.
Yeah,
it sort of made it for me as well. And then also, like, I played a lot of this game in multiplayer, and I think I just remember having a great time with it. It was quite
I mean, everybody did back on the NCC. I don't really like it now, but we all definitely had fun with it in multiplayer.
And just it was cool. It was 3D in a way that obviously the SNES one wasn't. So it makes it mainly on vibes and sort of memories and nostalgia, which I think is a lot of how I've sort of guided my list, and I'm quite unapologetic about that, I guess.
Well, yeah, I suppose you haven't spent a lot of time since then carrying on playing N64, really. I suppose. Yeah.
What about you, Alex?
Obviously my 9 was ISS. My number 8 is. Wait, is it your number 8? You went first, didn't you?
So I had ISS number 10, which you had
at
number 9.
Yeah.
And then I had Mario Kart at number 9.
Well, yeah. So what's your number 8?
So what was your 10?
Majora's Mask.
Yes, okay. So my number 8 is a game that, talking about building a list nostalgically, is a game that I've come to more recently in the last few years, and that's F-Zero X.
Higher in my list.
Okay, good.
My number 8 is WCW NWO Revenge. Just for something different to go in there, I went for this one because I think this is the first one that I truly sort of grabbed hold of, because I tried to get into WCW for a bit in that sort of late 90s era to widen my wrestling palette out of the WWF. And when I go back to play these games now, I get a lot of enjoyment out of the roster on this one, because it's just not something that went on to exist for much longer after the N64's life. It died. It was bought out by Vince, bastardized, and dead forever. Whereas, WWF games, you were playing as The Rock and Stone Cold forevermore. Whereas the WCW ones on this, they're like a time capsule of when that company still existed, when wrestling had two massive giants going head to head. I know I love AEW now, but there's just something special about that specific type of game when it was really kind of the pinnacle of wrestling games, and it wasn't WWF that was the license tied to it. It was WCW on top on the TV and in the video game systems, and it's a kind of special, unique era that will probably never ever happen again. So that's why, just as much as I loved WrestleMania 2000 and No Mercy, I went for Revenge in this one, because those 40-man battle royals are great fun.
This was the OG wrestling game for me as well. This is the first one I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. But yeah, it didn't make my list. The
shame that it doesn't have actual themes. That's the one thing, the one mark against it, is that it just has generic random MIDI rock music, and it didn't have any of the licensed themes, whereas the WWF ones later would.
I'm looking through the roster at the moment, and it's quite fun looking this. Actually, the roster of this game was quite ridiculous in hindsight. And even as someone like me that doesn't know a huge amount of wrestling, the amount of this is genuinely a bit of a powerhouse of a wrestling roster.
It is, isn't it?
And I bet you there's a bunch of wrestlers here that went on to appear in the WWE later with different characters that I'm not even recognizing.
Yeah, possibly.
Quickly running through some of them: Scott Steiner, Sting, Scott Hall, Perry Saturn, Roddy Piper, Rick Steiner, I recognize that. Rey Mysterio Jr. Raven,
yeah, you got Eddie Guerrero, Hogan,
Randy
Bret
Savage,
Hart, Goldberg,
Randy Savage,
DDP,
DDP, Lex Luger,
Giant,
Kidman. I feel like I remember.
Yeah, Kidman went to WWE.
Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Jim Neidhart, Hulk Hogan, Goldberg, Giant, who is Big Show, right?
Yeah.
Fit Finlay, I remember him in the WWE. Eric Bischoff.
His son is in AEW, Fit Finlay.
Is he?
Still has a shillelagh.
Chris Jericho.
Chris Benoit. Dean Malenko's got Parkinson's.
Does he?
Yeah, he still works for AEW though.
British Bulldog.
Not wrestling, obviously.
Booker T.
Buff Bagwell, yes, who went on to have a career as a gigolo.
Did
after he left wrestling. Indeed, he did.
Climbing the social ladder from Japan.
It's not massively divorced from each other, is it?
So yeah, really good game, and like you say, first true wrestling love was that game.
Absolutely. What's your number 7?
My number 7, just to carry the theme on, is WWF WrestleMania 2000.
Hey! All right, should we move on? As it's basically the same thing again, just
I mean,
just it had WWF in it.
Yeah, I had to pick one of them. For me, the sort of kicker was it was WWF, so it was a roster I recognized as a kid, and you could make your own belts.
Yeah,
which I had so much fun doing.
Yeah, and that I'm almost certain that WrestleMania 2000 also had a career mode in it as well as No Mercy, not as anywhere near as in depth, but I don't think that either of the WCW games had much single player content in it outside of like just win a championship by beating 10 dudes or something, or do a rumble. So yeah, they've definitely fleshed out the single player content on those WWF ones. Well, my number 7, which I talked about in the last episode, as it was this game something that I, despite having games on this system in the same genre that I prefer, and having caught a lot of strays from us as a podcast over the years, did I still think it goes in the top 10 N64 games? And I couldn't actually keep it out. It is Super Mario 64.
It's higher
because it's higher on yours. All right, okay. So all right, what's your number 6?
Star Wars Rogue Squadron. I had to put this.
Oh, okay, yeah. Tell us why.
For me, it's one of the few Star Wars games that actually made me feel like I was in the Star Wars universe and didn't make me want to end myself in Endor.
Hey, nice.
Yeah, it's
very
just
nice.
It's just a really fun arcade racer, and it sort of runs the gamut of, hey, remember this from the movie. It did smart things like a lot of these games during this era, or maybe not during this era, but certainly in the eras previously I was used to. It's just like if it would just be a sort of bog standard game of any type with a skin of some kind put on, and this one felt like it was actually made to be a Star Wars game, which I'm actually not sure it was originally, but I didn't know that as a kid. But then it's like, yes, but where I'm going with that is it didn't just have, here's a level, go shoot some things. It had quite an engaging story. You got to fly different planes and things, which all felt different and handled different, and had like, I think I said or read, sorry, in the run up to this, there's something like 14 missions, and of that there's like 8 different mission types. So like you do obviously have shooting ones, you run through the Death Star, you've got bombing campaigns which you've got to do, and then there's like that one where you've got to, like, I don't know, put your tripwire out and run around the side of an AT-AT and trip it up and take it down and stuff like that. It was just a really well thought out and planned arcade flying game that was sort of built around the IP.
Yeah, I mean, Star Wars really hadn't given much of a focus to air combat, spacey stuff. Really. Up until this point, a lot of it was just kind of platformers with, like the Super Star Wars games and things like that. Obviously, the original Star Wars game on the whatever it was on, the Amstrad or the C64 or whatever the fuck it was, that was the arcade. There was obviously a space fighting game, and you obviously had the Star Wars arcade, the kind of remake of that, the one that they then brought to the 32X and all that kind of stuff. So they had those, but other than that, this was kind of a return to form.
It's a platform. Well, it's a platformer. It's not a flying game. He plays Luke Skywalker on the Super Nintendo. It's meant to be quite good.
Yeah, it's all those Super Star Wars games. They are so hard though. They look beautiful, but yeah. Yeah, I really liked Rogue Squadron 2. The only reason I didn't include it in mine is just because Rogue Squadron 2 on the GameCube is, I would never play the original anymore. That's just so much better in every way.
I'm lucky enough never played it, nor unlucky, I guess.
I think, that's definitely worth a play at some point in your life, because it just looks phenomenal for a GameCube launch game as well. But it's perfect as far as these games go. But yeah, I really liked Rogue Squadron at the time, and I don't think I've ever finished it.
Also,
and I never played that Battle for Naboo very much either, the one that we just talked about earlier on in the thing. I assume you didn't play that either.
No. This was one. This was rentable at our local video drive-in. So Joel and I, friend of the pod, used to just every weekend get down there with our pocket money, rent Rogue Squadron, and then go home and play it all night. That was our rinse and repeat for many months.
What a time to be alive, when just, you could be a kid, get like £2 pocket money off your parents, and then that's enough to go play a video game all weekend.
We eventually got banned from going in that video shop as well, because another purchase of our pocket money was to buy a bunch of stink bombs, and we thought it'd be funny to set one off in the shop.
It probably was funny, right?
It was funny until but what we did is we handed.
So you killed a guy.
We handed a DVD back, then set the bomb off. So the wifey just phoned her mum.
No, because she could see where you were from immediately with the thing in her hand that she'd just scanned and seen your mum's name on. Nice.
Not our smartest move.
Nah. But the stink bomb itself kind of indicates you weren't acting on smarts at that point.
No, we weren't thinking.
No, exactly. You were stinking.
Yeah, we were stinking.
My number 6 is F-Zero-X. Tell us about your recent discovery of this incredible racer.
I just think
rich man's Wipeout, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I just think, like, I've grown up, again, Joel was been sort of semi-forced to play Wipeout on a regular basis and thinking, oh, this is fine. I don't love it. And then I think I'd also played F-Zero as a kid on my Super Nintendo and really like that. Great music, great car design. And then in later years, I think it was actually on my Switch when F-Zero-X came out on the N64 collection. Sitting playing it one day, and it just ticks all the boxes. It's fast, it's everything you'd want to be in a sort of arcade racer. The music's amazing.
It's so amazing.
And there's so much to do. Like, it's sort of obviously grown arms and legs from the SNES sort of iteration of the game. And it's just, I don't know, it's just a really fun, fast, responsive, and great, well-made game. And I think it looks quite good for its age as well.
Well, it looks fine.
Yeah.
But that's on purpose. This game has never really been designed to be a looker because it was stripped down from a graphical standpoint so they could run it at 60 with 30 races on the track. I think it runs at 60. So yeah, that's probably the one knock people have against it, is that it's ugly, in inverted commas, because they tried to get 30 cars on the track at once and have it blisteringly fast.
Looks like Thunderbird 2's flying about to me. I think it looks quite good.
They do, don't they? Yeah, they do. They really do. I mean, you compare it to, again, the GameCube one is good, and it's probably one of the hardest racing games ever. Looks unbelievable, the GameCube one, even now. So if you compare the two, then there's no comparison. But I've always enjoyed playing F-Zero-X more, and I love that death race as well, where you can you've got to smash people off the road, smash up every other racer as quickly as possible. Love it. Really, really cool. And yeah, as you say, the soundtrack, absolutely banging. What's your number 5?
Is F-Zero GX
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, the music's very evocative of Wipeout. See, that looks more like a Wipeout game to me, F-Zero GX.
Yeah, it was Sega that made that one, though, so you can, I guess it maybe had more of the Sega kind of music sensibilities. I don't know. Can't really remember. It's more dancey vibe than it was just kind of heavy metal on the N64 one.
We're on to my number 5 now.
Yeah.
GoldenEye.
I had Perfect Dark.
So
my number 5. GoldenEye, I dropped out to the top of my honourable mentions purely because, I think I just played more of the multiplayer on Perfect Dark as the time went on, and we grew up a little bit. And again, GoldenEye gets flack for being not that playable these days. I mean, you play Perfect Dark on an N64, it plays like fucking shit as well. Just kind of talked about GoldenEye enough. Thought, you know what, Perfect Dark's going in.
Yeah, fair. I don't really have anything to add beyond what was said. Otherwise, this was one of the games of my childhood. I think it's an important game
absolutely
for the genre, and it spurred quite a red hot passion in Bond. For a long time.
That gaming did not serve you with thereafter.
No.
What's your number 4?
Super Mario 64.
Number 4.
Again, talking about important games, to me it had to be. You cannot make a list of Nintendo 64 games without including Super Mario.
No, you can't. You just can't.
It is clunky to control these days, but it's still fun. It takes you less than 10 minutes, a few minutes to get back into how the game works, and then you're off having fun. The only thing I would actively avoid in this game is the swimming. I think it is god awful. But things like jumping into.
I don't hate it, but
if I never have to do it again, it will be too soon.
I just think it's. Yeah, I think the swimming itself handles fine. I just think it's too slow.
It's too slow, and then all too often they ask you to do time limited things while you're in the water, and that I've got no patience for it.
Yeah, to basically not die. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
you got to wait for that fucking stupid Nessie thing to come round.
Yeah.
And not fall off it, otherwise you've got to wait for it to do a lap of the bloody map again. I hate that level. That underground one where you get the metal suit, I hate it.
Yeah, oh yeah. And there's a bit outside of that painting where you've got to chase the rabbits. That's what
there is.
So I was like, what have you got to chase? Catch the rabbits.
That was the tech demo for the whole console, wasn't it? Just chasing that rabbit around.
I just think this again, this is saying nothing new, because this is what Nintendo does best. But in terms of creating a sense of wonder, it really does, or did that amazingly well for me as a kid. And every level was like, oh, what's round the next corner? You felt smart when you figured out a star that you'd been struggling on for a while. So many different things to do. You never really feel like you're doing the same thing twice unless you're doing a boss battle against Bowser. And it's just such a delight of a game. I think it looks cool as well, even today. I like that blockiness.
Yeah, I like that too. Did they do it in Odyssey? Was there I'm almost certain there was you could get like an N64 cap and it would turn him into like a blocky Mario, and it just I played that quite a lot. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I echo everything you say. And the console was basically made for that game. You can't not have it in there, even though I prefer a certain other 3D platformer that's coming up soon to it. Actually, this game was probably one that I played the most without ever owning until I was kind of an adult, because I never really had this when I was a kid. I basically just borrowed it. I just borrowed it off someone. I remember I would
GoldenEye you're packing then.
Yes, and Diddy Kong Racing. Yeah, okay. They were the two that I played the most. So, and I remember getting Banjo and sort of like playing that loads. And then this was a game that I just kind of nobody would let me fully swap it. But yeah, I remember borrowing this off a family friend and basically playing it and completing it on their cart before I gave it back. So it's a game that I played, just never actually owned until I was like, I should probably actually buy this for myself. Yeah. So that was your number. What was that? 4. All right. My number 4 is Lilac Wars. A topical game, as the Star Fox is very recently out on the Switch. That version is obviously incredible, without necessarily, again, being much more than a kind of 20-minute playthrough at a time sort of game. But as far as games hold up from this console to the modern day, you're going to have to go a very, very long way to find one that holds up better than Lilac Wars. There may not be a single game that does hold up better than Lilac Wars on this system, purely because it just works so simply by being on rails, able to give you all that spectacle all within the camera that you are forced to look at. Doesn't do anything too crazy with camera angles or free cameras like Mario 64 where you can get stuck. It looks great. It sounds great. It's got spectacle, it's got boss fights, it's got replayability, it's got that arcade sensibility that we always go back to saying, this kind of thing makes this hold up well because it's pick up and play, it's quick, it's done, it's over. You don't have to sit and concentrate for 20 hours on a game that looks like shit and feels archaic in the hands. This is a short, sharp burst of cinematic shooting brilliance. They know it because they keep re-releasing it. Everyone loves this game. I as the years have gone on, as a kid, I would play it and go, "Oh, is that it? It's finished already." But to kind of try and master it and get the hardest routes down and learn all the secrets and stuff, this is a really rewarding, really fun, kind of can be quite a hardcore game as well. I love a shmup. This is the evolution of shmups, just in 3D, the old rail shooter. It's just a really awesome game.
Good.
What's your number 3?
My number 3, yeah, we're into the big dogs now.
Yeah, we are.
I really struggled with this. Diddy Kong Racing was my number 3.
That was my number 2.
Oh, excellent.
My number 3 is probably higher on your list because mine is Banjo-Kazooie.
It's higher on my list, correct, yes.
Is it your number 2? Or is it higher than that?
My number 2.
All right. So what is your number 2?
My number 2 is Ocarina of Time.
Right. So basically, the top 3 were the same, just in a different order.
Yeah.
So I've got Banjo 3, Diddy 2, Zelda 1. Because I caved. I caved and decided it has to be Zelda number 1.
You were really fighting with yourself over Zelda.
Yeah, but I can't. It's just, I said it was my favorite game of all time for so many years. So what do you want to start with?
I think Banjo-Kazooie is probably the most or is it Diddy Kong? What's the most controversial? Like
probably Diddy Kong Racing, because I think we are proper like Diddy Kong bum boys on this pod, and we love this a lot more than a lot of other
probably
people. But I just think it's the best kart racer ever, certainly from a single player. Anyway,
no, I'd agree with you. It's a kart racer with a proper the Mario Kart games again. As fun as they were, it was just do races, Grand Prix, GPs at different speeds on different tracks. Whereas this one actually had an open world section where you'd go and explore different areas and unlock different stuff, and it also had like what felt like a proper single player campaign. Yeah, it wasn't like a story, but you'd have to the bosses are so much fun to race against,
and they're tough. It's tough.
Hard, yeah. I mean, it adds a layer of engagement and variety that I think Mario Kart lacks, and most kart racing games lack, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't do single player campaigns like this more in racing games of any kind.
Really upsets me that they don't.
Yeah.
Variety
as well. Like it's not just like. Sorry to interrupt you. Mario Kart at that time was just kart racing. This one's got the 3. It's got air racing. It's got the karts. It's got the hovers, the hover racing. And they all handle very, very differently. I mean, the flying one takes care of itself, but like the hover karts are like floaty and slippy in a way that the karts aren't. And the levels are designed as well, in which I'm pretty sure you can play most of them with any of the karts, and they work. If I can think back, obviously there's the water only ones, which you're kind of stuck. But the first one that I'm trying to think of with the dinosaur, you can do any of the vehicles in that one, and it works, right?
Yeah, you go back and play it. It will mostly allow you. Yeah, it will do that sort of thing. It will let you mix and match all that kind of stuff. You can do there's some of the ones where it's plane only. You can get on the hover thing, and it will somehow work.
Yeah.
I never really give it enough credit for that, kind of allowing the courses to work on multiple levels, because you get so used to thinking of them as they are intended.
Mm-hmm.
But I know all of them like the back of my hand.
It sort of works against it in any way.
Say that again?
Do you think the fact that it's quite a difficult game works against it? Because like Mario Kart, if you just want to do 50cc, you can just basically blunder through that.
Yeah, I think maybe that is the case, because if you go back to it now, the rubber banding of Mario Kart, the items that allow you to get back in the game, the kind of party-ish nature of what it is, definitely lends itself to just being playable for any era, any age. Whereas this one, it's like you got to learn it. You got to get good at the handling. You got to learn the characters. You got to learn the routes and the shortcuts and where the bananas are that you want. And there is no rubber banding and all that kind of stuff. So yes, I think how hard it is. If you love it, you love it. And if you got good at it, then you'll be a fan of it forever, because the single player is just so special, and the soundtrack is great, and the characters are fun and all that, and WizPig rules.
I remember spending 2 specific lunchtimes playing this game in my lunch break and streaming it, and you were watching it, and some other random kid was watching it. And, I just did 2 bosses over and over again. It was the final boss. Is that the WizPig? The final boss.
Yeah.
And the one in the water. Is it like a hoodie? Is it an octopus?
Oh, it's like an octopus. Anyway, he drops those bubbles on this like after the silver coin challenge.
But the TLDRs, I spent over an hour on that octopus, and
I thought that was going to be the pod over. I thought you weren't going to.
I'm not sure
You were going to.
I'm not sure I got bored. I was just carrying on, just keep going.
Yeah,
and it was just
you're just
so much
determined.
Fun.
Yeah.
It's great it's great when a game clicks like that.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't just trying to get through it to survive, like the last level of Doom 64. I was getting because I wanted to beat it.
Yeah. Beating TT is like one of my sort of proudest gaming achievements. Like beating every single staff ghost time to unlock that bastard.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that was tough. I'm pretty sure I probably had to use save states to do some of that.
Probably our second most controversial must be Banjo then.
Yeah, episode 48 of our podcast, we did a 25-year anniversary episode on Diddy Kong Racing. We ranked the soundtrack and everything. That's well worth a listen for those out there who want to hear more of that chat.
We did a Banjo-Kazooie podcast.
Yeah, that was episode 65. We did 25 years of Banjo. We did basically the same thing, ranked the soundtrack and all that kind of stuff. Great fun. I don't know. This one, I think people really, really have a lot more fondness for than Diddy.
I wouldn't be happy that we're smashing this up the top end, and Mario 64 is a bit of a... He's like scraping in the Champions League spots for me.
I think anybody who knows us probably should expect that, because we bang on about it enough on this pod that it's one of our favourite games ever, and we prefer it to Mario, so they shouldn't be surprised. But newcomers, just after some N64 chat, might be upset. Who knows?
There's not real... Again, the swimming's not ideal, but it's fine in Banjo-Kazooie.
It's faster, that's for sure. Yeah. And the swimming bits they've got some full underwater levels, haven't they? But it's just I don't even like those though, like Clanker's Cavern and stuff.
Clanker's Cavern's great. It's just so much fun. I mean, like the camera works. It's never really a problem. The inventiveness of being able to sort of the mumbo that changes Banjo into different characters to just sort of add different sort of bits to the levels. The collecting stuff is fun, which I can't really say that about all video games.
Or many of Rare's other games. All the ones after it, certainly.
The final boss is when the Gruntilda turns into a game show is bizarre and hilarious. I just love the whole thing.
Is this your number one?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. It's actually my number 3. I put Diddy above it for some reason. I just think that I would probably want to pick up Diddy Kong Racing more often than Banjo, purely because Banjo, I'd have to get it through to the end. Like 100% in, it's going to take me, 15 hours, whereas Diddy Kong you can smash through in 45 minutes.
Banjo,
that makes sense.
Is one of those games that I've completed 100% multiple times. I don't even know
Me too.
how much I've completed 100%. And I probably will it again one day.
I think I will too. Yeah. Well, when Cassie's ready for it, she'll be playing it with me. She's got no, say in the matter. Sit her down and play Banjo, then Diddy, and then a bit of Zelda. And actually, we have 2 podcasts of Banjo and Diddy Kong, and we're probably going to have a Zelda Ocarina of Time one finally. By the time this year is out.
Yeah, we've got it down December potentially. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, November, December time. I can't remember exactly when.
And have they got a release date for the remake? Because I want to have it finished in time for the remake.
This year.
Is it?
Yeah.
So I'll probably play this and then go straight into the remake.
God, I hope it's not just a remaster.
Yeah.
Because then what would be the point? But yeah. When was the first time you played it? At the time?
At the time, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it blew my mind. I think like all kids, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, really did.
It was like, oh my God, this is a game of a different level. He's an adult now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we can't really say a lot. We can't say a lot in just putting it in a top 10 list at the end of a pod that people haven't said before, but we will definitely have a winner is you style spin on it with a deep dive that we go in later on in the year where we'll bring you our own sensibilities for this game. But it's it was very, very long my favorite game of all time. It's just thinking about it would make me smile. The soundtrack, I would buy anything that came out Ocarina of Time related. Like I bought multiple soundtracks for it, like the official soundtrack. They had some kind of weird remixed soundtrack. They had the orchestral albums. Like, I just would like gorge on this shit, buying all the figures for it. Like, just I got the like Australian gold cartridge version where apparently Ganondorf bleeds at the end. I've forever loved it. I couldn't not have it at number one. But we'll have more on that later in the year.
So stay tuned.
Did you have any honourable mentions? Obviously, Wave Race, because you dropped it out of your top.
Wave Race. I just think, like, and again, we spoke about it in the previous pod, so we don't need to go into it. But the wave technology, I think, for the time was truly like stunning. I've got Ready to Rumble boxing on my list. Doom 64.
Oh yeah.
Although I wouldn't
play it on Xbox if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Did you said you played this on your N64 and it was really, and you saw how dark it was?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Couldn't see what I was doing.
Yeah. Mental. I don't know how that made that out the door because it deserved better.
Mario Golf and Mario Tennis are good fun.
Oh, Mario Golf's brilliant.
Yeah. And the other one is Beetle Adventure Racing, which is I very much.
I still need to get that.
It's so good.
I was looking for that in York, but no one had it.
It's like driving through like a bad Butland, like not Butlands, but like, so like you're going through and there's like model dinosaurs and there's like so many different like shortcuts to bust through. You like drive through things and it's Volkswagen Beetles, and I don't know why that's so good, but it's just I
need to give this a proper go.
It's like driving around a small, I don't know, like a bad movie set of a fake Indiana Jones a lot of the time, from what I remember. Like, it's just silly and fun. Power-ups, multiple directions to choose from.
Oh, yeah. I need to get on that.
It's really good. And I've then a list of probably nots, but we don't need to go into those.
Probably not. Yeah, some kind of more obscure-ish ones. I want to Snowboard Kids. I think I talked about that last time. A racer, like a cartoony racer that sits up there with Mario Kart and Diddy Kong, just obviously below them. The new Tetris, that's one of my favorite Tetris games because it has quite a cool little unique rankle to it, where wrinkle, something like that to it, where you like if you create a block, like I think you've got I can't remember how big the block has to be. Maybe it's like 4x4, or you can do like 8x8, but it would like congeal into. So if they're all the same part, if you could turn them into like an actual square of the same Tetris piece, it would congeal them into like a silver or a gold thing. And then if you made a line with that silver or gold thing, your score would go absolutely nuts. It's just, it's one of the few Tetris games that actually tries to do something interesting with the formula, or at least change it a little bit, and it actually works. Mischief Makers is another treasure game. It's like a 2D side-scrolling platformer, but with like a weird kind of gripping mechanic. Definitely not to be slept on in terms of like platform games go. We're going to possibly do a platform game pod at some point in the probably the long-term future, but I need to replay that to see if I feel that deserves any mentions on that. And then Operation Winback, like weird Metal Gear without any cutscenes in it. Did you say you tried to play this, or did you just watch it? Yeah, and you couldn't get on with the controls, right? It's a bit finicky.
It's a bit finicky, and it's one of these ones that I was like, if I've got time at any point to go and sit with it, I will, because it seems like it's a cool game. I'm struggling to have patience with the controls.
It's not very sprightly. It's very much a cover shooter where you need to stay in the cover and kind of, don't expect to be able to run around and do a lot on your toes because you'll just get gunned down. But it's, I had some fun playing that in the lead up to the first part of this pod. But yeah, that was my honorable mentions as well. And that's us done, I think, with the N64.
Made it.
Until we get to Ocarina later on.
Well done on all the work you've put in, Alex. It's very much.
It was a pleasure.
You do a good job of knocking these out the park. So thank you for that. Next up, I think we are planning to do Resident Evil Outbreak. Is that correct?
I had enough fun last night to keep going with that.
It was touch and go for a while.
We're going to get better at that.
We got over it. Like the first 15, 20 minutes of this, I was like, not having fun here. But then the control sort of clicked a little bit, and it's like, oh no, there is something to this. We just need to now be aware that if we're going to play that, we need to have at least 2 hours before bedtime.
that and maybe a guide, or at least I know to sort of like, we've looked up some gameplay tips and we will get better at that, because I think the first time around we kind of like had no idea what we were doing, didn't realize that zombies take 1 million shots to go down and respawn, and I didn't know I could get you back up again, and it's a Resident Evil game unlike any that we've done so far, I think is the best. Yes, there's no question.
And it's the summer of Resi, folks. So the plan is
exactly
to obviously continue our now annual tradition that is in its fifth year? Is this year 5, year 4?
Yeah, we're getting to the golden years now. We'll be in the twilight ones soon.
We're beginning to scrape the barrel.
A little bit.
But yeah, the plan is, depending if time allows, so this is not guaranteed, but the plan is at the moment, Resident Evil Outbreak, Resident Evil Revelations, and the Umbrella Chronicles after that.
Yes, indeed. Which the Umbrella Chronicles will be the one we drop if we drop anything this year, but we've started already. It's only mid-July, so we're on our way.
We have. I bought Resident Evil Revelations at the beginning of the year in anticipation for this podcast, and I don't remember what console I bought it on, so I'll need to go figure that out.
Depends who you were angry with at that point.
Yeah, I know. It absolutely does.
I can't remember where I bought it either.
I might just make a start on it as well, so that we're doing it in tandem. While I dip in and out of Final Fantasy, because I need to keep that going. I still haven't forgiven that girl for making me pick flowers with her.
They had a call back to that in Rebirth, and I was like, poor David.
There was one time that I was walking around picking up flowers, and Cloud's reaction to everything she was saying was just like exactly like mine would have been. She's like, "Oh, what do you think about this one?" He's like, "I don't care." "What do you think about this one?"
Yeah,
I don't care.
the thing is with that as well, it's just like you don't care that he's not really being that nice to her, because we all know what happens to her. So it's just kind of like, just get it over with. There's no point building a relationship with you, love. We all know what happens. Just whatever. Yeah, that is some classic Final Fantasy bullshit. Just pick flowers with her. Well, you didn't even have to do any of this in the first game. It was just probably a box of dialogue, and here you are walking slowly through a field for 2 hours. Good God.
Yeah, and I guess that brings us to the end. So let's steer this ship home. If the podcast isn't enough for you, best place for this these days is over in BlueSky, at Thrillex for Alex, at SuperSmiley for me, and at Winner Is You Pod for us. We've also got TikTok and YouTube, where we blah blah blah. We've also got TikTok and YouTube. So just search for Winner Is You Podcast and we'll pop up on both. Alex, have you got any housekeeping before we get on out of here?
No, just play Densha Attack.
This
everybody.
Is the bus game.
The Tony Hawk's train skater, pro trainer.
By this is, I think
it's awesome.
I'm just going to put
it's so good.
I'm just going to put it in the category of weird Japanese, and then just get on with it and probably enjoy it.
You will.
I'm confused why they've made a game about a train that does flips. I don't understand. Is it from an anime? Like,
it doesn't have a reason for that. I don't understand why they did either. But you like Ollie Ollie, don't you?
Yes.
Well, the tricks are all handled like that, so it's all on the right analog stick that you do that. And then everything else is kind of like, you got to make sure you drift around every corner or your train will crash, and you've got to like jump over obstacles, sound the horn to open up new pathways. Oh, the control scheme's like really, really good. It's just, you will like it. It's quite hard, but it doesn't ever really seem to fail you. It's hard to like get really good, but you can just get through the level and get like no medal or a bronze medal and just move on with your life.
Talking about weird Japanese.
You got to play it on your deck though.
Okay.
It's good pick up and play.
When I was down getting my tattoo consultation at the weekend,
I haven't asked you about that yet, actually.
The girl was talking about, and she I don't know how it came up, but she was basically said that she'd been resistant to anime for a long time, but she's finally got into it. And I was like, oh, I'm a bit like that. What is it you've been watching? And her recommendation was Full Metal Alchemist. Have you ever watched that?
Yeah, I had the box set of that at one point. You won't like it. Is my recommendation there.
It's no One Punch Man. I didn't tell her that I'd watched One Punch Man.
Beautiful to look at. But the whole thing where it kind of centers around like, it's just one of them ones where like some of the subject matter is deadly serious, and there'll be episodes where it's like really melancholy, and they'll be like on a farm where they grew up for the whole episode being sad. But the two main characters are like a dude who's angry all the time who could do alchemy, and his brother who he accidentally alchemized his like soul into a giant suit of armor. So it's a giant suit of armor that talks like a 6-year-old lad.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you won't like it. You want to watch Cowboy Bebop? That's what you've got to watch. Or Berserk.
Truly impenetrable. One Piece.
Yes, just watch if you want to watch the live action one that came out on wherever it was, Netflix. I've been told by a man who sits next to me at work on his lunch reading the One Piece manga when a new issue comes out that it's actually quite good. Okay. So I mean, if he doesn't hate it, try that one.
What was because I liked the live action movie of the one where
Death Note.
Death Note, yeah, I thought that was fun.
Death Note's awesome. I don't care if girls like it.
I really liked it, yeah.
I like both the movies and I like the anime a lot of Death Note. That's fucking awesome anime. It really goes like way beyond where the films ended. How the hell has this happened? Let's carry on chatting, but I don't know how we've got to this.
No. Anime.
Oh, it was your tattoo woman.
Anime adjacent. Another live action. Anime adjacent. Scott Pilgrim's good as well. I quite like that. I've never read the manga of those.
Well, it's just a comic really because he's an American dude. But yeah, they're good. I'll send you them if you want.
Yeah, okay.
Don't know if they hold up, but I'll send you
them. Yeah. So that's my life.
We got onto this because of fucking Japanese train games.
Yeah, Japanese train games. Final Fantasy picking flowers.
Yeah.
That game is absolutely insane so far. Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about it. I'm enjoying it. I absolutely. You know what I really enjoy is when I get set loose on like a main mission. They're fantastic.
The dungeons, their sort of dungeons, for want of a better word, are really good in those games. Really, once you sort of focus in.
The other stuff is sort of I'm half of it. I'm 3/4 of it. I'm sort of enjoying in a weird like this is odd way.
It's like
at the beginning, and I don't like picking flowers. But the flower section is really not long. I don't know why I'm getting so hung up on it. It's about 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's just trying to pace itself, isn't it? It's trying to not make it all dungeons, but sometimes we just want dungeons.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the superfluous stuff around the edges is in those games can be quite a bit much.
I'm so early on, so I don't want to sort of overstep my opinion that I might not hold by the end of the game. But I have been playing this thinking maybe the PS1 version of this game is a bit more succinct, and perhaps we didn't need 3 Hobbit movies in the same way as maybe we don't need this to be squeezed out.
Yeah, they had the problem is that they know people love it, so they can just be as self-indulgent as they want, and they'll be like, yeah, but people love it, right? This is what they've always wanted.
Yeah, and they probably do.
Go pick flowers, you'll love it.
Very well received, doesn't it? People really like it.
I really like it.
And after having a dodgy start, I'm kind of into the materia. That's quite fun.
Oh, materia's brilliant. Yeah. Materia's brilliant. The combat's brilliant.
Combat is really, really good. Again, early tricky time, but once I got my head around it, very much enjoying it.
Yeah, and I think all the things that you think are bullshit, I definitely thought so too. I just pushed through and enjoed the cool bits.
Yeah, you were able to put it
undeniably bollocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a bombshell, I think, isn't it?
How we can fall off of the build, I don't know, what do you call it? The building that is just covering the slums, land in a tiny little flower bed in a church, and he's fine. Is there something else to that? Because he's fallen like hundreds of feet onto mud.
It's not like he's Ethan from Resi 8 where he's already mold or whatever. It's not like that or anything.
He should be dead.
They're just really soft flowers, I guess.
Oh, then the amount of stuff, it's just like, oh, let's go do this, and you've just got to walk up to it and press forward so that it then takes control off you to show you a little animated scene, and then gives you control back again. But
I'll tell you, I can't promise you that's going to stop. It's not. But you wait. There's a very specific part of that game that I don't think I've spoiled for you and had anyone else spoil for you. Otherwise, you'd have said it by now. I cannot wait for you to see what happens. I just can't wait. You're never going to expect what happens, and it's great. Even in that, it's unbelievable in the original. But even in the remake, it was like really, really well done, like in a very funny way.
I am slightly disappointed that, I think I said this to you badly before, but when I played the OG, you do the first mission, then you go back to the pub, and then you immediately go into their little base that they've got underneath the pub. They've still not been there yet, and I've played this game for like 10 hours. They've still not let me in. The only reason I'm even letting this mission is because all 3 of the people that didn't come with me seem to have hurt their ankles.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure they let you in there at the end, but I don't think you get to do a lot. Yeah. And Tifa's just playing hard to get in it.
And I've just been listening to her song on repeat on the jukebox. Oh my god, I need to get more songs.
Oh god, yeah.
Tifa's song all over and over again. Sick of it. I can't believe there's simultaneously playing this game. I'm sitting there thinking, what a lot of nonsense, but also just thinking this is great at the same time.
Yeah, that's what it is. That is what it is.
And on that bombshell,
yeah,
I've been David, he's been Alex, and we've been a winner shoe, and I'm out.
Keep gaming.